back, and again, apologies for the delay which has been caused for round number 2 of the first map, Oregon. But here we are. We're not going to waste any time at all. And also, as we take a look at the recap itself, we just had our first map, Oregon, which did end up on a 1-0 score line at the hands of Team Uvu, succeeding on their first round of defense. And now we got to figure out whether if Team Uvu can handle out the lead on the second round itself. Aggressive. We saw how round number 1 panned out. What do you think is going to happen in round number 2?
Yeah, let's just see how it all goes down for now. Because of the way that this entire roundup is going in, I would personally say that I'm leaning a little bit more towards Uwu because of how, let's say, how clean they have been on that first initial take. That round was just incredible to watch in more ways than one.
Yeah, you could say that in the first round it was more of a brawl. It was just endless amount of random stuff that had happened in the first round itself. Random, when I say randomness, I'd say the bans. First and foremost, on both the attack as well as on defense from Crouch and Uvu, banning out Zofia and Capcan, which leads to the players having the chances of bringing out the Thatcher, and also high likely chance for them to bring in the Valkyrie, in which Cat will be bringing it out on round number 2. The basement site will be picked up from Team Uvu's end. And Crouch Potatoes, I believe they had a bit of a problem one, and that was from Cobra's end. But knowing that every single issue has been resolved, and in round number 2, knowing that all players are prepped and ready for this attack, we are not going to waste any time and proceed with the side itself. Crouch Potatoes, they've just lost first round. Can they bring this back on round number 2?
And Crouch Potatoes, they left a lot to be desired for when it came down to round number 1. A lot of problems to be seen early on, but they did pick up the talk and the Valkyrie again, of course. A couple of interesting items coming in from Kato. Did a lot of the research back at home, of course, to get that best possible position for each and every Valkyrie cam, get ample amounts of information, and make sure each sideline is under complete lockdown. The Valkyrie can cause a lot of problems down the line, but again, the dock with the bulletproof cams could be a nuisance as well. The entire site is now theirs, and they have ample amounts of information to play it down as well. Okay, a double spawn peak just waiting to happen, but again, they have to be careful because you don't have much for the trades, but the drone gaining that information will be massive for their end.
It can be, and especially with Drish bringing in the dock, the P90 with the 1.5x scope, although it does not
Actually,
deliver
P90.
major amount of damage. Yeah, the P90, the thing about P90 is that it has good magazine capacity and has good fire rate. The main problem is the damage. It doesn't
Just hit the
deal
head,
a
bro.
lot of damage. All you have to do is just hit a single headshot, and in a game of Rainbow Six Siege, one single a shot to the head is more than enough to guarantee a kill. So you could say that Team Uvu are just playing this patiently. We don't get to see them, use their roam presence. Maybe we could see Dagger just roaming around the first floor. Actually, it is Kato who's doing all that work. That too all the way towards the kitchen side. He finds his first prey, and it's Mojo. Unfortunately, the hunter becomes the hunted.
Yeah, I think that Mojo ran all the way to the side of the Valkyrie, hoping to get that frag up, but he doesn't really get much done. But Dagger, that's a pretty massive hit. Phone's been taken down already. You wanted the util to be present for a little while longer, but he doesn't really get anything done. Dark Lord, Gemini in hand. Again, this is what I always highlight. The members of Crouch Potatoes, they utilize their drones to gain information, but they don't have anyone to capitalize on top of it. No nades, no nothing. That's a pretty tough angle to fight, and Ragnarok, he gets away with murder. But Cobra's gonna be able to get the shutdown kill over onto the second. Drish, the dog, doesn't really have much to say in this scenario, and every single rotation angle has been cut off completely. This is a tough spot and a tough position for the attackers for the defenders, sorry, to play in, because now they've lost second floor control and the attackers are slowly making their way in towards the site.
Yeah, they've already lost 2 players, and you could say that Crouch Potato still has a chance. My goodness, Naughty Yashrit almost cost a shot off to take out Ragnarok. He still stays alive, and the more alive the player is, the more danger that Crouch Potatoes will be. still have the C4s from Kato. All he needs is just simple information, and Vinci is just waiting for it because Cobra is currently giving them vital information towards the side.
Still going for
Flashbangs being thrown around, not being able to find its prey, but still, cross predators are slowly moving in. They have to find a player or two. Wrong time for a reload, and that's gonna give Ragnarok the kill that he needs. Whips out the bearing 9, and now you have this crossfire angle being placed. He gets another one. It's all down to Cobra. Nades being thrown around from Freezer, but he won't be able to get the kill nonetheless, nor do we get to see him get the clutch nonetheless. TEC will get the final frag, have to find a player or two. Wrong time for a reload, and that's going to give Ragnarok the kill that he needs. Whips out the bearing 9, and now you have this crossfire angle being placed. He gets another one. It's all down to Cobra. Nades being thrown around from Freezer, but he won't be able to get
everything here. Primarily because this team, in this instant at least, is a lot more confident in the way they take their engagements, and at their base fundamental siege is just a little bit stronger because they're playing together as a squad. While on the side of cross potatoes, tell me honestly, how many different crossfires and trade angles have you even seen? They were on construction entrance. They landed in construction, mind you. And they were peeking that angle one by one, and no one came through the garage entrance at all. Sorry, the construction entrance at all. They were just stuck there.
Even the crossfire angle was just put to great use from Uvu's end, and you could see the Kraus potatoes were mainly focused on pushing towards blue bunker side and also from the main from the big tower stairs. They did take a lot of time to drone out, find some important players to figure out exactly whether if they can find a player or not. There was the push from Vinci didn't quite work out well in his favor though. And also, how can I forget the plays that Ragnarok did while he was playing as a Thunderbird, catching Naughty Ashrit off guard while he was busy reloading his weapon. If that did not happen, and if Naughty Ashrit still had the chance to at least shoot a single bullet to the head, that would have been game-changing for Team Cross Potatoes. But when you have 0 bullets in your weaponry and you're forced for a reload, it's difficult to come back, especially when you have a Spear 308. This deals so much damage to the player. Now in round number 3, you've got to be careful on Kato because he was looking very strong on first floor dining. Last time I remember, he did remove Mojo off while he was playing as the Jackal. But now his position has been compromised. He knows exactly where the Valkyrie's positioning is. Sort of, but he doesn't have the proper picture put into it. You could say the Cross Potatoes are mainly focused on removing Kato first, because if they cannot remove the roamers first and then you decide to, open up the walls, there's high likelihood chances for a C4 play or a flank opportunity that Uvu can get the better ends of it.
This will be a plan here. The Gemini does spot out one player at the bare minimum, and Drish. He's not gonna like the situation he's been put into, but okay, he's expecting Vinci to be on the other side. But again, the Azami completely terraformed this bottom side of the kitchen all the way in the way that she wants. But again, not really an easy feat to get their way in through on the first initial feed, and the Namors doesn't really get anything done. There's a mute jammer on the other side. And look at the way that the Azami did the setup. Where do you even go with this instance? Because you're just caught between a rock and a hard place, but still the trades. Going through from each side, they're trying to establish that second floor control early enough. And they have some control, but not much, because at the end of the day, they're still gonna need to hold for as long as they possibly can. And the hold towards the side of kitchen is getting a little bit more dicey, especially with the hatch being completely opened up. To take kitchen off this early on, I don't know what the game plan was here, because they're just getting bodied left and right. You never really go to the site that often unless it's your last ditch effort. It's not an easy one to hold.
Okay, for a moment that I thought we could have just seen that play being made from Mute's end, but they had control on vertical line of sight, and with it, Crouch Potatoes will have no problems dealing with first floor meeting kitchen. After all, you could say the Crouch
never take this site, correct?
No, you would, mainly because they did win both the sides, right? They won both second floor kids, and also they'd won on basement laundry. So since both of the sites were locked, they were forced to pick sites like first floor meeting and kitchen or kitchen/dining. So
Dining.
Yeah, kitchen and dining. Most of the time, we would see teams mainly pick on meeting and kitchen, because meeting and kitchen requires you, at least on meeting room and kitchen, you'd have certain chances for you to deny plants for the defense, and they have to ensure that they have control on second floor, especially with when you saw the final kill where Mojo gets the kill out of mute. The defenders are in a dire need of having that vertical line of sight, because if they don't have that control in the late rounds, it's usually favorable for the attackers. So that's exactly what happened from Team Uvu's end. They lost control on second floor, and then when they lost it, they immediately get control on both meeting as well as on kitchen, forcing them on a post-plant situation. So that's exactly how it panned out for Crouch Potatoes. So nonetheless, in order for the sites for second floor kids to be unlocked, you need to wait for 2 more rounds. And now, since it's unlocked, they will definitely use it on round number 4.
Gonna need to wait and see how they're gonna utilize that level of control though as well. This again, Trish. He's trying to be aggro here. Wait a minute. This is the first time I've ever seen this. Deez is gonna be able to get a swan peak, but I don't even care. The man Drish has a shotgun on a Valkyrie.
This past 15. It's like the upgraded version of Spas 12, I'm guessing. But all in all, you could see that from Uvu's end, only losing Ragnarok ended up being their own demise by removing both Dark Lord and Nordi Yashri, both of them which is heavily required for catching flanks and also getting initial frag outs. And with both of them being gone, things will be a bit even much more tougher for Crouch Potatoes when it comes to execution. But nonetheless, they won't have any problems with removing lines of sight. Maybe open up a wall on second floor kids and, hope to find another angle where you can, pick out players on the side of Team Uvu one by one. But with the amount of vast information that they have and the way how controlled the situation is for Team Uvu, Crouch Potatoes are yet to make a decision. They are still right outside, they're still using their attack drones to give information, and they are yet to make an opening pick.
At this point, they really do need to start figuring out what really went wrong for them, because again, we do see a little bit more of a problematic scenario coming in from the top back end of this, because Mojo's opening up a lot of different lines of sight to play around with. He has slow control over bedroom. That's perfect for them, because with this bedroom control, they're gonna be happy. The drone's gonna spot out the black icons. That's gonna be massive for them. And wait, I did not expect the Thatcher to be present. I didn't even know he was here.
Yeah, looks like he was present on armed locker. C4 from Dresh. Oh, interesting. It does not catch his Dresh off. Maybe it was placed in a very, different place. But in the end, that grenade will at least deal some minor damage to Dresh. But his pass shotgun will be so powerful that he will take out Mojo nonetheless. Although he doesn't have any information on Ace's whereabouts. So he needs to be careful. Not a lot of information that you have from Uvu's end. But for Crouch Potatoes, they need to get this spawn out. Second kill from the Spas. And now, Dresh is looking for the third. A lot of shots being dealt around from Cobra's end, but for DZ, it shouldn't be much of a problem for him to deal with. He doesn't have any information on Ace's whereabouts or with ease, so he needs to be careful. Not a lot of information that you have from Uvu's end, but for Crouch Potatoes, they need to get this spawn out. Second kill from the Spas.
They're looking
now
very comfortable in the way that they're playing the side of
looking
Oregon.
for the third.
Good trades, good sight.
A lot of shots being dealt
created,
nonetheless.
and their defensive holds are proper. They're taking early engagements, gaining information through the usage of the Valkyrie, so that they don't have a lot of different lines of sight to play around with in these instances. And the most surprising factor is, you might kill me for this as well, but the Thatcher isn't really getting a lot of play for the map of Oregon. Possibly not as strong here, or maybe the teams are just not that comfortable using the Thatcher, considering how often he gets banned out.
Yeah, absolutely. But talking about round number 5, Uvu being in the lead, 3 defensive round wins. Both of the sides, which is clearly at the hands of Team Uvu, winning both second floor kids Toms and now basement laundry at the hands of Team Uvu, clearly says that this first half would end up on a 2-4 scoreline. Mainly because first floor meeting and kitchen didn't work out too well in their favor, and Crouch Potatoes did manage their coordination out very well. They get control on second floor quite quickly, as I'd imagined it to be. And now, if they have to equalize it, they've got to win the side. They have to win basement laundry, and I'm pretty sure that pushing towards blue bunker and big tower again might not be a good way. But if it works out, if they get quick information regarding this issue, and Thresh, on the other hand, who is trying to be very aggressive, he was about to get picked out, but he will still he will survive, and he will fall back to the side as quick as possible.
Oh my god, Trish. He's got to stop giving us heart attacks. Every single time he goes in for a push like this, it just completely brings him down a couple of notches here if he's not careful. A couple of grenades being thrown over from the side to try and get that level of information. But I like the placements that they are going for. They're playing so heavily towards the side of blue bunker, making sure that I don't lose that first level of control. Because again, even if you lose that second floor, unless there's a lot of pressure coming in from Freezer and of course blue bunker, then you're safe. The side's still not over yet. Because even if you have that level of control over to the second floor, you're not going to be able to take that easy of an entry. Because soft floors, there's not really a lot of soft floors for you to take advantage of up there.
I could not, but Dresh, on the other hand, somehow gets away with a kill. Although he was so low on HP, Dresh finally manages to find one. Oh, the second, the timing for the air jabs didn't quite work out well. But for Cobra, ending himself on just 1 HP. Ragnarok needs to be careful though. He'll still alive. He'll still be alive for now because Vinci is currently busy with the attack drones. Now Ragnarok has his eyes towards one of the players, but he doesn't have the information nonetheless. Still stay alive, and for Crouch Potatoes, they're not going to waste any time at all. They'll open up the hatch towards meeting, which means the players who are currently holding around the blue bunkers will be forced to play around the site itself. Now, Yachit, on the other hand, will make a push all the way towards Freezer. And now with both the hatches being opened up, Uvu might have... yeah, they don't have control on blue bunker and Freezer, which means that Crouch Potatoes are making a different... are making a different approach, and turns out it's working out for them.
It's pretty smart. Initially, I expected their hold to be a little bit stronger because without their blue bunker control, it's very hard to rush your way in towards the side, but they're going to be doing it anyways. No one's holding any forms of crossfires. They can't in this scenario. They're all in towards the side. The freezer control is slowly being established, especially now that it's a pretty rough position to be in. They're going to jump in towards the side and they're going to take all the engagements. It's a very big surprise from an analytical perspective. Somehow, they're falling apart here one by one.
Yeah, it turns out they're still waiting for the perfect moment. But in a post-plan situation, when the time is on the clock, you've got to figure out a way. DZ, okay, he somehow gets away. Vinci will still get the kill, but not at the hands of Dagger. The 1v1, no information on the last player's whereabouts, and it's Cobra who's just on 5 HP. No, Dagger still survives. No, Dagger still survives. And all he needs is just a single shot to the leg. But Cobra, all he needs to do is just waste time. He should not let the defender get a single second, but no, Dagger clutches it anyways. Does he have the time? Yes, ample amount of time for Dagger to clutch this out, and Team Uvu manages to win round number 5 with a hiccup. 4-1.
There was... No, Baba, you cannot tell me that as soon as they get that second level of control without Blue Bunker and Freezer, they casually just take the... They nearly took this round away. This was a heroic moment coming in from the side of Uvu. But the round nearly just swayed in the favor of Crouch Potatoes. In what way, shape, and form did this happen? Do we need to relearn Siege? Maybe we're just playing this one wrong. We don't even need Blue Bunker control anymore. Take the second floor, jump into the side, win your gunfights. And again, things would have been a lot more different if they had that level of control early on. But they got complacent in the positions that they were holding and no one was holding crossfires. You know that DZ was playing on the side of Freezer. You had that information. And they still fell flat because of it. Because again, Freezer is such a powerful position to hold, such a powerful position to take control of. If you do not have that when you're entering a site, you're completely relying on your gunfights to get you through that engagement. And DZ just slipped in between the cracks and got 2 kills out of it.
Yeah, even Vinci was unaware of Alibi's whereabouts.
Yeah, exactly. Because they
I
didn't
don't know
have
why.
Freezer.
Yeah, I don't know what happened from Vinci's end. Maybe it was, you know, heavily focused on the blue bunkers wall, which was already opened up, right? So since they didn't had control on blue bunkers, Vinci was mainly focusing on that, and the freezer doorway. No one was watching that angle.
That's very questionable. Did you believe that you already established that control? No. You can see where my analysis came to be, but not in this way.
We could say on the bright side, Crouch Potatoes have an advantage in this site. Although the only difference is that the site, yeah, it's the same site nonetheless, meeting room and kitchen. So for Crouch Potatoes, they've managed to succeed this site in round number 3. So all they've got to do is just repeat the same thing they did on round number 3, and there you go. Vinci just ends up starts off with a bang, but this time taking out Ragnarok. A good frag of that too, because with the castle not being available, although the armor panels will be, it's still a good thing for Team Crouch Potatoes, knowing that they have the early advantage in a minute and 50 seconds. C4 being tossed out, and somehow Cobra gets the heavy fall from DZ's run out all the way from construction entrance, and ensuring that they will have an equalizer of some sorts. But in the end, we will see Team Uwu trying to take things under control. But the main problem of it is that they don't have second floor control as of now. Quick punch to the barricade as DZ decides to rotate back all the way to Big Tower stairs, and Team Cross Potatoes are still trying to get control from second floor. They're opening up lines of sight, they're placing claymores to ensure that none of the players from Team Uwu would make that attempt of making the push from the stairs itself. So all in all, you could say this entirety of mid-round is a silent round at that, and Team Crouch Potatoes are yet to make a response. They are prepping for it. They just need some information from the drones, and when they have it, and DZ, he gets another one, and Nodi Ashrit gets caught off unnoticed. A cooked nade from Mojo. Well, actually does not deal major damage, but in the end it was Dark Lord gets the kill, and Dark Lord, oh boy. A quick flick and an almost headshot to take out the Thresh, but he will still stay alive. He will stay alive nonetheless, and the holograms just giving away a good amount of information on Kato's whereabouts. But DZ, he is on a different role. Triple kill with the DMR. He gets out Vinci, a quad! What a shot right from first floor dying. And to end things off, it's Thresh with the SMG-11 who gets to take out the final player. Dark Lord goes down in flames. And would you look at that? In the first half, it's a 5-1 scoreline with Uwu adapting to round number 6. Now on 7, they are looking so confident here with this huge lead. 5-1. They've only need 2 more rounds to win on the first map of Oregon. And let's not forget, this is Uwu's map pick, so...
Okay.
My god.
They're doing it again. Throwback to 2017? Sorry, 2018. My bad. Even 2017 Ash was even stronger.
Hmm. Oh, you meant the match between MRCZ and UG, right? The August majors.
Yes.
My goodness,
Yeah,
it's been a long time. Yeah, I remember that. It was a best of 5, and then the 5th map it was MRCZ who ended up on a 1-5 score. Sorry, 5-1, and UG were yet to make their presence known. And I still realize UG, if they had won that majors, they would have had the spot on the 6 invitationals, but MRCC denied that. Yeah, I remember that. My goodness. You could say it's giving me a bit of a vibe. Yeah, it's been a while. It has been a while. But yeah, it really does brings in some memories, right? I mean, you have Nodi Ashrit from Crouch Potatoes, and you also have Dagger, who used to be a former UG player. Yeah, it did bring a lot of memories. Not gonna lie.
It was a long time ago, seeing all of these retired players coming on back to our scene once more. I really hope that Siege just grows back into popularity, back to what it was back in the day. Man, to see a team going over to the Invitationals, yeah, that would be a dream again. But again, let's just see how this match pans out. We're living in a fantasy, but for the teams, they're out here in the cruel world trying to make their way towards the side of the R6 credits, but it's not going to be that simple because the way that Wu have been playing, they're so confident in the way that they're taking a lot of their gunfights. And Crouch Potatoes, they're just not being structured enough to go up against them. Just look at the way that they're playing. Again and again, the fact is, they're so much better when it comes down to gaining information and playing on top of it. Look at the way that the drones are just clearing out Drish. The man just running through walls. He's terraforming the entire map. He's Wreck-It Ralph at this point, and wait a second, the Gemini is going to be able to take a forward sidelines. Drish is going to be able to get a grenade kill. Again, that's beautiful. It's perfect drone work. And because of that drone work, they're getting even more. Grenades galore, kills coming in left, right, and center. No gunfights were taken, not a single bullet has been shot in this entire roundup. And they're still able to shut down 2 players.
Yep, 4 grenade, 2 kills, and here comes Ragnarok. The utility game from Team Uvu is just fascinating. Already 3 kills, and that too, all 3 kills are from utilities. DZ, he needs to be careful on that push, but Dagger on the other hand, unrelentless pre-fire from the sides on second floor kids, but he won't be able to get Mojo off just yet. But in a 3v2 situation, there is likely a chance that Crouch Potatoes can still come back. But they cannot deny or delay this push whatsoever because they just lost their smoke gas canisters. They've even lost their impact nades. The only thing that they can deny is direct gunfight. And I'm pretty sure that if we get the feed right now, and I believe that we just got stuck with this. Well, oh, okay, we're back. Or are we not? No, we're not just gonna. Okay, all right, there we go. We're back. Okay, for a moment there, I thought we would have a bit of problems, but yeah, there we go. DZ just runs away. Mojo. Oh Jesus! For a moment there, I thought he was not about to get the kill, but look at that, Crouch Potatoes. They decide to bring it back. Not quite sure that planting that defuse right there was a good idea, but leaving Dagger in a 1v2 can be a chance for them to bring this back. All he's got to do is just find Naughty Ashrit. A single bullet to the body is more than enough to guarantee a kill. Melusi will give away the position, and Dagger has no idea where Naughty Ashrit is. Can he get it? No, too late. So late. And I've got to say for Naughty Ashrit, saved by the bell in round number 7.
Literally, he was just about to get pre-fired. Ouch. Now that is rough. But again, that was a very close round that was pretty much won purely because of mistakes being made by the side of Ubu. They tried to go in for the diffuser plan for no apparent reason. He didn't even need to. Could have just waited that one through, but problems coming in left and right. With Zero getting picked up. Could be interesting here. Sam Fisher, what do you have in store for us? A lot of info, that's for certain, because those cams are such a nuisance whenever you're playing at the basement floor.
Oh man. That was so close. So close. And that to Ashrit, he only had 5 HP left. So a single shot is like all you had to do was just get a single shot, and I'm not gonna lie, that's a good straight shot from Dark Lord. Just a quick 5 shots to get the angle all the way from the side towards Big Tower Stairs. But yeah, all in all, action phases end. Uvu are still yet to claim match point on Oregon. And Dark Lord is still making his finishing touches towards the site. And DZ might be able to find one of the players. Good information. And Dagger still continuing to do his stealthy approach all the way from Freezer Stairs. If that works, evidently it does so from Ragnarok's end. Okay, I have no... Where?
Oh, run out.
Oh no, it was a run out. Ashrit. Oh no. Not like this. Alright, Dagger, you've got to control yourself from that nade, because he is going ham with that. Cobra goes down. Good map control. They have ample amount of information from Zero's Argus cams and also a pre-placed drones, which are helping them gain the maximum advantage. Dagger! Oh boy, Vinci just barely survives in that majority of that gunfight itself, but you could see that one of the player, Bomai, just casually just peeks away and gets a headshot. And Crouch Potatoes, They might have a chance to ensure they are somehow surviving this mid round, but would it be more than enough to handle out Team Uvu's aggressive playstyle?
Easy to get a couple of more here as well. Ragnarok opening up those hatches, being an absolute nuisance over from the back end of this. Drones are going to jump down through the hole to try and get that first bout of information, but Dark Lord, he's still in such a power spot, and no one has destroyed his deployable shield, so that's a pretty big hit already. Positions are good, everything's primed and ready, and oh god, that could have been a death. But Mojo, he gets away with it, but not for long. Ragnarok fast with the trades, and the shots are clean all around. They know Dark Lord's position, they have to know. He survived, but at what cost? The diffuser's still on the other side of the planet. They need to get to it. The real question is, can they? Positions are good. They need to pincer him from two sides. That's gonna be the one. Maybe the secondary catch, but no, they don't find it. Both of them very low on HP. It all really comes down to the last shot. Zero going up against Alibi. Kato going up against Dark Lord. He's been such a nuisance. He's been such a flare, but no, he's not gonna clear the left. Dark Lord gets away with it. Nicely done, Dark Lord. Played it down to perfection. And that's a play that they will remember.
Yep, 2 rounds. My goodness, the explosive performance from Uvu on the early round was so exceptional, but it was so exceptional that Crouch Potatoes somehow managed to slip away the gaps twice. Once from once from Dark Lord, and the second from Nodi Ashrit, who just got saved from the time. And boy, oh boy, for a moment there, I thought Team Uvu had so much control on the second half attack. Turns out, Cross Potatoes, they're looking pretty confident too in the second half as well. 2 rounds, both Kids, Doms, and Basement Laundry are in their hands. And now the main problem for them is to ensure victory towards Dining and Kitchen. There's some friendly banters going on from the all chat. It's just funs and games. But in the end, when it comes to the winner for the team, there can only be one. So, Uvu, this is their map pick after all on map Oregon. And they've had a very good start in the first half. But suddenly, we see Cross Potatoes bring this back on the second half itself with some amazing performances being displayed from Dark Lords. And also, close attempts from Dresh. Actually, yeah, it was Jagger who's playing as the Ash again. Apologies for that. But nonetheless, action phase will commence. And with the Lions EE1D trying to scan some of the defenders to get some information. And also you have the Amaru's Garahok, who's already shown his presence towards Armory stairs. I've got to wonder whether if Uvu can fix up their mistakes, or will Crouch Potatoes end up winning this out once again. Wait a minute, Ragnarok. Already in towards the attic, he might be able to get a surprise attack, and with removing of the barricades, that is not going to work out too much though. Cobra has got things covered, and now he just needs to focus on one place, and that is Dresh. Still trying to get some information, but not being able to get a refrag will also put Team Uvu in a very bad situation.
Could just be done for here. Dagger, with this push, could easily get away with more. He's expecting the angle, he's expecting the fight, but it's just not enough. Mojo, he comes on back for the back end of this with the underhand play. And Drish, Imaru gets absolutely nothing done. SMG in hand, tries to jump in the hole, doesn't really get anything done here as well. Kato completely caught off guard, has no idea what he is getting himself into here. For Crouch Potatoes, they're just done for.
Or is it though?
Nope.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
Yeah. It's just done and dusted. Ooh, they had no idea what they were trying to even take an engagement here on. Because again, I'm sorry, did I say Crouch Potatoes, they're done for now? Team Uvu, they're done for on that. Apologies for that moment of lapse, because I was just shocked, because Uvu, it feels as though their attacking side is just heavily weak. They're not really playing to their strengths. They're being a lot more, how do I put it, unorganized in the way that they're taking engagements. They need to get some structure, and I think we saw this problem coming from them on their own attacking side as well, when it came down to them going up against Water Boys. Their attack just feels so lackluster.
It really does. Uwu, despite their great performance in first half defense, I gotta agree the fact that in attack, it's not working out for them. Like, what would be the main reason of it? Is it mainly because they haven't getting the information right, or maybe the initial gunfights where, you know, the angles which we saw when DZ was, and actually not DZ, Dark Lord was in a 1v2 situation on Basement Church, right? The timing of them pushing both, one who's pushing from, the basement bunker side, and also the one towards boiler room, the timing was a bit misplaced from Team Uwu's end, and you could say that they're having a lot of problems regarding spacing out their timings, and also most of their pushes being mainly individual plays, like the grenade kills, like we saw from Drish's end, while and also from Kato, who'd usually get those kills, but Cross Potatoes, man. I gotta say, when you have players like Dark Lord and Vinci who gets the upper hand when it comes to holding their site, Team Uwu, they have a lot to talk about.
A little bit surprising as well here. Ooh, such an explosive start, but to lose out on 4 rounds consecutively. You would expect they would take a tactical pause in this instance to maybe just break the momentum. There's absolutely nothing being taken by them. Again, a couple of shots being taken. Ragnarok still eager for the engagement, even though he lost out on so much of his HP. Problems galore, but still the Thatcher does open up a lot of different avenues to play around with. The Ace has a couple of breaches to do as well. Has the angle, has the avenue. Opens up the main wall for the side of bedroom. So they're gonna be able to peek themselves over onto games, but really, is that the position they want to be in? They have not yet established much control all around, and Dark Lord Cassidy gets a pick over onto one. Ragnarok, he's been taken down instantly.
This is not looking good from Uwu's end, especially with the diffuser being dropped right from the breach. And what's even more worse is that they haven't used a single utilities yet from Crouch Potatoes end. Not a single C4 has been used as of now, as they're waiting for Uwu to make their push. It's more of like a chess game. They're waiting for the right moment to, bait them. But grenades on the other hand, okay, 2 grenades. Dresh, both Mojo and Cobra has been eliminated with those perfectly cooked nades from first floor itself. And now we get to see Team Uwu bring this back. Yes, they do. DZ starts off with a headshot. Nodiyashit, on the other hand, decides to hold his ground. And they're back in the same situation that they're in on round number 7. But this time, Nodiyashit is back in a 1v3. He might be able to get one of the first frags, but not the other. And Uwu, they have finally managed to break the curse. Round number 10, they will finally get their attack win, which means that they will secure map point up against Crouch Potatoes. If they win this, they will win map number 1 and proceed to map number 2 border, with them being on the advantage.
Questionable on a lot of different ends. Crouch Potatoes, they had a pretty strong hold. They also got that first initial kill coming in from Dark Lord, but that kill really didn't translate into anything more than just being that first initial pickoff. They started taking aggressive engagements all the way across the map for no apparent reason.
Attackers need to locate.
Why are you trying to play over aggressive knowing you have that control? Play for the side of attic. Play inside of the bedroom. They don't even have first floor control yet because your roamers are still omnipresent throughout the map. And the roamers maybe got a bit too dicey, not waiting for a couple of calls to come in from the defenders holding on the second floor that, hey, we need some help. They're starting to throw nades. At that moment, your roamers have to start going in and start spewing out everyone that is on the first floor. And because of the lapse of judgment that could be coming in from the attackers, things could have been a lot more different. Again, disjointed play coming in from Crouch Potatoes. And sometimes, I don't know, Crouch Potatoes, they look so clean, they look so precise, they have an idea of what they're doing. But on the other end of the spectrum, you have rounds like this, not playing up to the mark, and they cannot make mistakes in these certain moments because Crouch Potatoes, their backs are against the wall. This is the lower brackets, and they're now at match point for map number 1. They could be done for here, but Dark Lord, he's making sure that his team is still in the run. good play because now taking down Trish that early on, that sledge and his
Attackers have
grenades
located a
could have been a
bomb.
nuisance, but now they have nothing to open up these hatches for.
Yeah, you still have the Thatcher and the Capitao to open up those hatches. It shouldn't be much of a problem for them, but removing Dresh, though, on the other hand, while Dark Lord being the one who had to take the initiative, will
That's two
bring
of their
Crossbreakers.
grenades.
Yeah, two of the grenades have been gone, which
Oh.
means that the players can just safely stay on their respective chokehold positionings, and now they're looking even more stronger with Mojo. Starting off with yet another kill, and that is Dagger off the board. And with the shock tasers not helping them out to remove some of their important utilities, they just have to rely on the Thatcher's EMPs nonetheless. They have control on the hatches now, but not at the control on boilers, because Ragnarok, on the other hand, needs to figure out a way to get this advantage to himself. A lot of utilities being displaced from boilers, as you see a lot of utilities being tossed around from the side, but in the end it will be Team Cross Paretos who still has the control of the situation. Kato sins at the situation and Vinci just covers it up, and Cross Paretos will manage it out on winning round number 11, just like that. And with it, they will have one more chance here. Aggressive. It's 5-6. And Uvu, although they are on match point, they did succeed on winning second floor kids' dorms. Round number 12, they will be opting out on the same position nonetheless.
That was surprising. What just happened in this instance? I really don't understand this. Ooh, they just fell flat on their face for no apparent reason there. They started taking fights way too aggressively. Dark Lord got away with murder. They were still fighting from the side of backstairs, but what's the exact reasoning behind it?
I mean, you saw smokes, you saw candelas from stairs. Although it would have been best if the candelas were thrown at the hatch on meeting, that
Yeah,
would
they
have
could have edged to
helped
the
them at
entry.
least. If when you jump down from the hatch, you're more likely be vulnerable towards basement bunkers and boilers. So if you manage to flash both of those plays, you can just easily drop down from the hatch and get those initial kills. But instead, choosing to engage in a gunfight with the L8 LMG on long range, and not being able to find any good values out of it. And you could saw what exactly happened. They decided to make an unorthodox push with not a lot of informations being gained from the attack drones. And next thing you know, Cross Paretos, all they've got to do is just wait for those utilities to just go away by staying safe. And also they ended up getting every single kill and denies the push from Uvu just like that on Basement Church. So I've really got to wonder for Team Uvu. They were in such good form in the first half, ending things off on a 5-1 score line. And now here we are with Team Cross Potatoes on defense in second half, getting the best of it. Now it's 5-6. 5-6, meaning that they had won 4 defensive rounds from Team Crouch Potatoes by winning second floor kids, basement laundry, and also let's not forget kitchen and dining room, one of the most difficult sites for the defenders to win it out. Well, guess what happened? Crouch Potatoes did succeed in winning it. And for Uvu, having let's just say, a disjointed attack coordination is really not helping them, not one bit.
I have no idea what they're really going for. What's the game plan exactly? Because ooh, they're starting to push in. Their drone play was immaculate early on when it came down to a couple of the rounds. But then a couple of stages back, they were down bad. Like they were on a 1-5 lead, mind you, coming off of their own defensive side. And on the attack, the drone play was just lackluster. They were not taking any fights together as a team as you would have hoped for. Not even one bit. And when a team is falling that far back as a unit, you would start to question what exactly is going wrong on the internal basis. Is the communication not working out properly? Are they not confident in the way that they're taking a lot of their gunfights? They're showing a lot of cracks. And normally, when it comes down to South Asian siege, at least, we always consider it to be a lot more attack favored. But in this scenario, not really. And if this is how it pans out for map number 1 and going into map number 2, mind you, we're headed over to border. So for Uwu, this is a must-have win. Oregon was supposed to be the map that they will take, considering how aggressive they play as a team on border. You can't really play that aggressive. You play that aggressive, the defenders are going to absolutely demolish you. There's not really a lot of plays that you can make on the aggressive side because if the proper crossfires are set up, if the lines of sight are made in the best way possible, if you have proper first floor control and second floor control, doesn't matter what side you peek, there are three different sidelines that you need to worry about and a lot of utility that you need to play around on that particular map. But for Oregon, it's a lot more simpler. But simplicity seems to be helping the side of Crotch Potatoes a lot more than the other side of the spectrum. They need to do something here because if they don't, we could just be done for.
Yeah, if I gotta be honest, most of the rounds that we've seen on map number one only favored for defenders. The attack coordination from both Crouch Potatoes and Team Uwu have not done a good job. I've
I
got to
think
say
it's
this
because of
straight.
the drone play.
I
I
mean,
think it's
not
primarily
only
because of
just
the
the
drone.
drone play. I mean, if I have to give an example on first round itself, when Crouch Potatoes went on attack, they forgot to bring in Thatcher. They forgot to bring in Ace, which is substantially the most pick operator when it comes to opening up lines of sight on attic as well as on second floor kids. They decided to opt out on challenging gunfights and not use utilities. And because of that, they had lost majority of their attack rounds in the first half, and guess what happened on second half? It was quite the opposite. We saw Team Uwu managing to get the most value of their utilities. The cooked nade from Dresh has, I mean, to be honest, in this second half, I've seen Dresh get nade kills for like 4 or 5 times. 5 to 6 times. You could say it's almost a record of gaining the most frag grenade kills in a single match. But although they have good utilities clearance, although they did have good utility clearance, when it comes to pushing sight in the late games, they'd end up losing it. Not only once,
It's
they've
completely
lost
true.
thrice. And when you see them lose their confidence in engaging in those gunfights, what happened on round number 11? You saw the attack coordination just flew away, mainly because of how Dark Lord gets the initial flag out with removing Thresh out of the equation. And next thing you know, they were just down one player. It was a 4v5. Next thing you know, the push was unsuccessful from Team Uvu. And now, talk about round number 13. Actually, no, round number 12. We're back at a round of ones here, aggressive. 5 to 6. Round, one round to put this map on overtime, and one round for Team Uvu to claim map number one, Oregon. This is, of course, their map pick. And if they don't win this, map number two will be a challenge for Team Uvu to survive.
I have no clue how they're gonna do this one at all. Because in my eyes and through what I can see at the bare minimum, we could just be done for here right off the bat without even heading on down over onto map number 3. Crouch Potatoes, they're in contention to take this to overtime, guaranteeing themselves pretty much a very simple 2-0 victory considering border and their past success. They're a lot more in control. They're a lot more in tune at what they want to do on that particular map. So they should have that instance under lockdown. But again, our predictions have gone wrong. But thankfully, Baba, this time around, you're here and not Jack. Because
Oh no.
after what happened yesterday, I'm just like, nah, man, just no. The guy forced it over to the third map, guaranteed. And good God, was I not mentally prepared for any of the action that went through on that particular day. It was interesting to say the very least, but hey, woo. Their run was historic, but on the other side of the spectrum, we have to give it to Crotch Potatoes, man. To take down Copium in such a manner was something that we had no idea that they were capable of. But again, Crotch Potatoes, they do make a lot of mistakes. And I really want to see how the side of Uwu, they're going to be able to capitalize on top of it. Mistakes do happen throughout this matchup, but it really does depend on one small instance of how those mistakes will be capitalized upon. But looking at the statistics that we have up till now, we have to give some credits at the end of the day because looking at the stats, man, each and every player, they've been pulling their own weight. There's not a single player in this entire matchup that is not getting a lot of impact franks all around. But Dark Lord, dude, Dark Lord's been on a tear. He has a 72% cost up till now. And he has been perfect for these first initial frags throughout this entire matchup.
Yeah. You could say the performance that Dark Lord made on defense have been so influential in the second half. And I could say the same thing to Drish as well. Drish is also has done a fantastic job on
Yeah, that's true.
attack too, especially with the nade kills. And on defense, you could say that Kato and DZ were just, just doing a great job while being as Roamer while he was playing as the Valkyrie at that time. They have ample amount of information in the first half, which led to the attackers not being able to, focus on removing the information game first and then focus on the side. And mainly because of that, on a game of Rainbow Six Siege where information is king, the more information you have, it's like winning half the battle. And that's exactly what happened in the first half when Team Uwu were on defense. They had ample amount of information and they did ended up winning it. And of course, if you guys are wondering on exactly why we're still at the caster scam, it's just that the players on the side
My
of Team
blurry
Crouch Potatoes
face.
have asked for a rehost, and also Aggressive just pointed out. I mean, it's just blurred out. So yeah, I believe that there isn't a rehost. It's just a pause timer being requested from Crouch Potatoes, and I'm guessing. So we just have to wait out, see whether the player on the side of Team Crouch Potatoes would, arrive from the lobby, and then when we have the get go from our production end, with in fact we are going to head on into our round right now, round number 12. We know we did take a lot of time from this pause time, but we are back and resuming a 5-6 score line in round number 12. Let's see whether if Ubu can claim map number 1 or Crouch Potatoes give themselves a fighting chance in this map.
Anything is possible here, and it all has to start from right here and right now. Small instances of these pushes are really not working out in their favor, and I want to see a little bit more control for the side of Attic. Maybe a Florist getting picked up as well here, because these deployable shields have been such a nuisance to them, and I think they need to find a way to clear these out. Either use the grenades to get the clearance. They need to start finding ways to get rid of the utility. I don't know, Team Uwu, they like to push into a lot of util being placed by the defenders. I have no idea what they're going in for initially in these bases. They need to clear out a lot more utility before making these pushes, but a cat can? Sorry, cat can. What am I saying? A capital. My brain is just... Dude, that Capcan bat is still stuck in my head, okay?
Yeah, I know.
Leave it be. Leave it be. Leave it be. But a capital getting picked out for the first floor. Sorry, the second floor. That is interesting.
Yeah. Yeah, Capitao, it's you don't get to see Capitao picks being brought out from, especially in the South APAC region. We do see one team, especially on a team called Retrograde, where Shrisha used to bring Capitao. The smoke and fireballs, which can force out any player who's been playing on a very confident positioning, and that too the players who has that deployable shield will at least be forced for the defenders to fall back on a certain place, and the only operator that can cancel out the ADSs will be none other than the Capitao. But on the other hand, Gone 6 being used to open up the barricades, followed up with the Ashes breaching rounds to remove some of the utilities. But you can see how Uwu has been mainly pressing on their attack here. One on Attic, the other from the windows, and Vinci really got to be careful with those gunfights. No, he does not. Ragnarok gets the best of it. Headshot, and now you see Team Uwu get things under control with Ragnarok being on just 1 HP.
He's not really going to be doing much of his capital things, especially with that 1 HP on his side. Things look rough for him, but at the end of the day, they need to get even more done. Dagger over on the back end of this Drish, again getting taken down. Dark Lord, man, he's such a nuisance. He's always finding these plays every single time, and that is perfect. Again, Drish, he used one of his grenades, correct? And as soon as he did, immediately the alibi came in around the corner to find that frag. Good first floor control already established. They have 3 roamers in this present. 3 roamers with only 1 holding from inside of the site. Is this the Giga Chad move that they were hoping for?
I'm pretty sure that they might. Ah, man. Gotta make the
Oh,
push
wait, two of the
nonetheless.
roamers are coming back.
Yeah, they have to come back, right? Because it's at the 30-second mark. Dagger, okay. Catches off one of the roamers, Mojo. And now, trouble in paradise from the side. No longer. Cobra is here. So does Darkler to hold their ground. And Ragnarok made his best attempts to find a kill or two. But it's Kato who needs to clutch this 1v2. They have ample amount of information. And especially knowing that the hologram has been destroyed from White Stairs. All Crouch Potatoes have to do is just place this patiently, and patience will reward its victory. Ladies and gentlemen, map number 1, Crouch Potatoes have managed to succeed. Round number 12, which means we are going to overtime. Round number 13, and Team Uvu, they had the advantage first, and now it's Team Crouch Potatoes who will bring this back and have a fighting chance.
Oh, it really does depend on them being able to be an absolute unit in this instance. If they lose their defensive side, I think we're done for. There is no other second OT because Crouch Potatoes on their own defensive end is just such a nuisance to deal with, and I think that they need a lot more time to figure this one out. This defensive sideline will allow them to just fester in the positions that they are in and allow them to play things slowly but surely. But think about it like this here, Baba. This defense setup that they normally go for, they have done it so often, and we have seen Crouch Potatoes win out against them in this defensive sideline at the bare minimum of once, where the members of Uwu had to pull off a miracle to get this clutch done. But Drish, if he gets taken down early by Dark Lord, it could be a lot more problematic.
5 seconds left.
Yeah, that's the main problem that Uvu needs to be careful about. If Dark Lord gets the initial pick. Although you could say for Uvu, they're the ones who currently have the advantage because they're the ones on defense. And that too on a side like second Fork's Doms, who are yet to taste defeat in the side. You could say that Team Uvu might have this, chance. And we see Drish back again with the Spas 15. Playing on close range and the amount of ample information that you have from the cameras, it's quite likely the same situation that Crouch Potato has been in. They could at least play to it accordingly and try to go for cooked nades. Try to go for cooked nades, exactly how Drish did it, who did ended up getting a lot of kills from that.
In control in this instance. They need to start being a bit more aggro when it comes down to the way that they played. Okay, never mind. That's a really good Valkyrie cam. That's a lot of information to be found over onto Attic. And they can completely play this one slowly as much as they want. Good angle though, and Dagger could easily find a head as soon as it crosses, but nope! The guy falls asleep on the angle. That's a pretty big hit already. And Dagger, it's a shot he needed to find. Is he going to be able to get this? But no! A couple of moonwalk dodges coming in for Mojo, and he lives through it all. Mojo's gonna be able to shut down one more coming in from the side. That's a kill, and Dagger. Oh boy, he could just be done for here because Mojo, he has his phone number and knows exactly where he is.
Yeah, and that too getting away without a refrag is gonna put Team Uvu on a difficult spot. But DZ might be able to do something about this. MX for Storm in hand, dangerous in close and long range. He needs to find a pick or two, at least. Waste a lot of time.
Timing!
The timing itself is just not working out too much. But Kato, on the other hand, knowing that the windows has been destroyed from second floor and Ragnarok almost finding the head up of Ace, but he will get the kill nonetheless. A good shot, and now Mojo's been down from the attic side. Push needs to happen. 40 seconds, and you see the attackers from Team Crouch Potatoes, they're just losing ground. They're losing ground, and they're losing man count of that too. They just have to go in for the plant, but control on Attic and that too from White Stairs is a difficult task for Team Crouch Potatoes to get a hold of, but Dark Lord somehow gets it anyways. They just need control, Naughty Ashrit, all the way towards Attic, and not...
Because the side of Uwu, they had a pretty rough time trying to break into this specific site. It's a good plan, it's a good idea, but again, Baba, it comes down to the execution as well. the members of Uwu, they had a chance to try and figure out exactly what their primary flaw will be, and it's Dark Lord being extremely aggressive. So here is where the drones are going to come in handy. If they're able to catch out Dark Lord early on and just force him to get himself back in towards the side and corral them over into a corner, they will get the advantage. But once more, we do see the Capital coming into play. Kato being an absolute chad when it comes down to that usage, but with 6 grenades in hand and a lot of vertical play to be done, anything is possible here. But they need to get a lot of control all the way across the map without dying firsthand. And I do believe the alibi, oh yeah, she's gonna go in for a fight already, man. She's coming towards the side of tower. Could be dangerous. And yeah, Dark Lord, he knows he needs to dip. He's gonna get droned out and caught out even if he's not careful. His team needs him here. And if he's dead on the floor, this round and this entire map could go in the favor of Uwu.
Slowly as it is, as Team Uwu are just patiently making their push.
This is such a dangerous angle. Don't peek this, man. You have nades for this instead. Why are you peeking this?
He just wants to hold the angle.
How many
Maybe-
times have they died trying to hold this?
They have done multiple times, and that I remember it was Dagger who usually stay in that angle.
Oh,
But
the guy
on
who died! Wait, what? How? Wait, he actually killed him through a crack! I've never seen that happen!
Yeah, and that too, right from the electrical room. And Dagger, my goodness, he almost removed Mojo off, but somehow he gets away with it.
so much damage.
Drop
Imagine if they had a
from
grenade.
Rock, and now, oh boy, he's gonna lose it! And Dagger just pushes directly from the boilers.
Nice
Look
shot.
at that! 3 kills already. And now it's Dark Lord, who
Not
needs to
gonna
figure out a
happen.
way to clutch this back. Can he do it? We'll find one. The
Oh,
second
never mind. That's gonna happen.
one
Wait a
V2
minute.
clutch that this can happen from Crouch Potatoes. They have the high ground
they have
potential. They
vertical.
even have the grenades from Dresh. He doesn't even have to hold the angle. All he's got to do is just hear the sound of the defuse and just chug a nade right from below the hatch.
And yeah, the nade, he doesn't even need to cook it. If he doesn't cook it, it's even better because he's gonna get forced off an angle. And at this point, he's making so much noise. The angle's been taken, and there's no way Deez is gonna lose that. Has the advantageous fight. And with that, they're able to get this clutch done. That was pretty smart at the end of the day, though. You have to give them credit where credit is due. They played that pretty well, but it just wasn't enough to get that final pickup done. It was a long haul. It was a near comeback coming in from the side of Crouch Potatoes, but just really didn't pan out the way that they wanted. Dark Lord, he tried to play aggressive, he got droned out, and he was forced back over into a corner. And that was one of the main reasons why they were able to win. Dark Lord didn't find that early pickoff. He got droned out early. His information was found, and everyone just needed to run on back in towards the side. They huddled up into a corner. No real advantages to be gained, but man, oh man, I'm just surprised that the Sledge got that kill onto Vinci on the Kaid. Like, how even? I haven't seen anyone get a kill through a Maverick breach like that when they're trying to open up a hatch. That's
Yeah.
the first. It's such a dangerous play to make as well, Vinci. You're not supposed to stand there. I think he was expected to maybe find a pixel peek over onto the Maverick, but how the turns have tabled.
Yeah, all it requires was just a backup plan, right? So you could say that Dresh was acting as a backup plan, especially when the hatches were trying to open up from the breaching torch. You're usually vulnerable, especially, and Vinci decides to hold an angle from that. And also, let's take a look at the highlights itself for the majority of the rounds itself on both first half and second half. Resuming back the conversation that I'm talking about, the way how Vinci thought that there would be at least one Maverick who's just using his breaching torch to open up the entire hatch, and you know that he's vulnerable because if you use the breaching torch, you're more likely are getting yourself killed. So Vinci decides to engage on that combat, but turns out you also had Drish who was holding out yet another angle, and getting an early pick like that and getting control of the situation to open up the hatches was very necessary for Team Uwu to just drop down on the hatch and win it. Although on the first half you saw how powerful Team Uwu was on defense, I could see the same thing on the second half where majority wise it was just defender wins from both the teams. Crouch Potatoes won a lot of defensive rounds. Team Uwu did the same thing. And then finally they realized what kind of mistakes that they were doing and decided to bring this back and decided to not make that same mistake again on overtime, especially on both round number 13 and 14. Drish, on the other hand, it's very rare to see Ace Pass 15 being brought out, especially from Valkyrie's end. You'd usually see an MPX, we popularly call it as the P shooter, mainly because it deals moderate amount of damage, but it has 5 fire rate that really works as a beam. You could say it almost works as a laser beam of some sorts. But all in all, Team Uvu, although they've had so much struggles in the second half, in the end they will manage to win it out on map number 1.
Just have to figure out what they are doing wrong in this instance, because at the end of the day, man, I don't know, Crunch Potatoes, they played it quite well. They were pretty decent in the way that they were able to get so much value throughout the entire game. But again and again, the team just did not hit the marks when it came down to the closing moments. We talk about this Crouch Potatoes, they have no idea how to finish their plate. That's Jack saying, but his saying reigns supreme. We need to see them just be a lot more proactive in the way that they're taking engagements on the closing moments. They start to lose their rhythm. They start to lose all of the momentum they have built up over the last couple of rounds and just the brink of being able to go to the finish line. They're not able to cross it. They're literally 2 inches away from it, and they're never able to get across. It's as if there's like a Olympic jump right in front of them. But that's not really the case. It's their own mistakes, but looking at the match summary as well, you can see a lot of them just perform. 79% cost coming in from Dark Lord. He's been an absolute chat throughout the entire game, but for everyone else, 62, 64, 57, and 43, they haven't really been able to find any form of impact throughout the entire game. They've been trying to go in for kills. They've been trying to go in for a lot of fights, but they haven't really found anything because the team is not playing together in a lot of instances, and they have a lot of negative trades because of it.
Yeah, Drish, on the other hand, he's done a fantastic job both on defense as well as on attack. 4 initial kills where he did lose 2 of them on attack, I'm guessing on second half. But man, those nade kills that we've seen from Drish's end, both grenades catching out both of the players on round number 7 and 8, despite not being able to win the round, you saw how Uvu was so powerful on their utility games. Although they've had major struggles on map number 1, they will still end up winning on an 8-6 overtime scoreline. They will claim map number 1, but can they win map number 2 border, which is in fact a map pick from Team Crouch Potatoes? Whether or not will we see Team Uvu have a spot on the grand finals, or do we get to see deciders, which will be on map Skyscraper, depends to be unknown. So for that map number 2 to happen on a map like Border, I'm pretty sure that we see Team Uvu just make an exceptional performance on Oregon. Instead, if I do have to talk about Uvu's performance, this entire upper brackets matchup, they have been pretty dominant here, folks. 2-0, 2-0 in most of the matches, except when they went up against Team Water Boys, who did ended up on a 7-1 and a 7-3 scoreline. And now they're here on the lower brackets while they are fighting up against Team Crouch Potatoes. Cross Potatoes, on the other hand, also had a similar situation. They went up against Team Copium on an map number 3 deciders, and they ended up winning this 2-1, right? 2-1 was the score line, with Team Cross Potatoes having a spot on the finals of the lower brackets. But as we all know, for the grand finals, if they have to go up against Team Water Boys, who are currently have secured both first and second place, they've got to figure out a way to destroy this. Water Boys, they are just so powerful in the upper brackets, and
They haven't lost a single map.
yeah, they haven't. They are yet to lose a single map here, folks. They are yet to lose a single map. So for now, for map number 2 border to commence, we just have to take a short little break. Until then, just take a look at the sponsors. All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Esports Club Presents Community Cup Season 3 for Rainbow Six Siege, supported by Ubisoft, powered by Zota Gaming, and of course, our broadcast partner Loco. We are back with map number 2 Border, and also with a bit of a recap. Team Uwu had successfully won map number 1 Oregon with an 8-7 maximum overtime. We didn't get to see round number 15, of course, but now the biggest question comes into play. Will we see Team Crouch Potatoes win map number 2 to put us on Decider Skyscraper? Which is highly likely a possibility that it can happen because this is Team Crouch Potatoes map pick, and Team Uwu, they just came back in an 8-7 overtime match point. Map number 2 can be a different case scenario unless and until things have covered for them, but aggressive. You saw how map number 1 panned out, heavily defender favored on Oregon. What do you think is going to happen here on map number 2?
You never really know. Because, again, the side of Crouch Potatoes, they have a tendency of making a lot of rookie level mistakes. And those type of instances just completely shut the team down. Any momentum that they build, they just completely lose it in a couple of seconds. And they don't really do anything to try and reconcile those perfect issues. But then again, we look at the side of Uwu. They haven't played Border even once throughout their entire run, have they? The qualifiers or even in the playoffs. So Crouch Potatoes, they have no idea what they could be dealing with here. Yes, it's one of their most favorite maps. It's one of their best maps, guaranteed. But you don't have any statistics on your opposition. You have no idea what they could be bringing down to the table, what bans they could be facing here as well. So you could be looking at a pretty interesting take regardless. Nomad is a good possibility for a ban, but again, it feels still the side of Crouch Potatoes and, of course, Uwu like to go in for a little bit more of those spicy pickups. So the ban, it could be quite interesting to say the very least, Baba, because I'm excited to see what kind of bans we're going to be looking on board here for right now.
Mm-hmm. When it comes to bans on map number 1, we did get to see Zofia and Capcan being banned from both Crouch Potatoes as well as from Team Uwu's end. So map number 2, pretty sure that we might see bans like that on Border, which means that one of the meta operators, Thatcher, Mira, Valkyrie, would still be available, I guess. Or maybe we could just, see the standard bans coming from Border nonetheless. I mean, when it comes to a certain operators like Thatcher, Mira, Valkyrie, and some of the heart-breaching operators like the Maverick, it has a higher chance of being banned. And the main reason why it's banned is because how powerful that the operators can, be a problem for them on that particular map. But all in all,
True.
I have to say, map Border, this is Team Crouch Potatoes map pick. So I'm curious to know what kind of bans do we get to see. Will we get to see the same standard bans, or do we get to see some ridiculous bans being made? Who knows? Maybe we might see a Kali ban on attack, or maybe a
Okay, wait,
targeted
Kali
ban from
ban.
Drish. Ash. And I'm just
Oh,
saying Kali
God.
mainly because of fun times. I mean, yeah, I know Kali isn't being picked most of the time, mainly because of the CSRX sniper rifle. Doesn't help a lot. But,
It's
you
also
know,
not a one shot, it's a down. So
yeah, it's just a downed one. But on the bright side, the main reason why Kali was brought out is technically to be as a replacement for Thatcher. The EMPs can at least disable electronic gadgets, whereas Kali can also do the same thing. But instead of, disabling it, you destroy it. So there are some certain tricks that Thatcher can do, and you still have Kali, which can destroy utilities, which could include our own specific gadgets. Say, for an example, if you want to deny a trick and you want to place an early on exothermic charge, Kali can destroy both the exothermic charge as well as the bandit charges too. So technically, Kali is not being picked a lot on majority of the maps, but I'm
primarily
pretty
because of the
sure Thatcher will
weapon.
ban most of the time. Yeah, absolutely. I got to agree on that aggressive. Mainly, it has to do because of the weapon itself. The sniper rifle, which has the ability of only downing but not confirming a kill, really puts Kali on a negative side when it comes to, picking that specific operator. But I'm pretty sure I will see an Ash ban from Crouch Potatoes, don't you think? I mean, Ash ban,
It could
a
happen
Sledge
just for the
ban,
memes. For
just
the
for the memes. Just
memes.
do it for the
Okay.
memes.
Just run it down. Again, Ash is pretty powerful, but in this current meta, she just doesn't really feel as optimum now, does she? The R4C as well. Used to be one of my most favorite weapons down the
Yeah,
line.
she will come
Still,
back aggressive.
yeah,
She
she's gonna
can
come
come
back.
back.
So
Especially on the next Operation Brutal Swarm, where we had a lot of recall changes from both the Zophia's primary weapon and also from the Ash's R4C. Now you can handle the recoil very well, and we could see a higher chances of Ash being picked out in the future matches. Who knows? It can happen.
especially when you know that she has so much utility to just reach out every single avenue. Yeah, she doesn't have those flashes anymore. The flashes were so oppressive because it shut down ADSs and it allowed the Ash to take simple entry without any form of setup from her teammates. It was very problematic. But for now, though, things could be a lot more different because, yes, the Ash is not as powerful as it used to be, but you can play as if you are like a baby sledge. You have a lot of breaching rounds to just completely open up higher floors. You also have a way of opening up different soft walls. So she's quite powerful, and there's a reason why Dagger's been sorry, Dagger, not Dagger, Drish has been picking up the Ash quite often because it's still quite powerful in this current meta because, of course, she's 3 speed, she can run at the speed of light, she's dangerous. But that does not mean that she can easily get away with a lot of aggro peaks like she did before. She's easily counterable, a lot more in control, and can be in the meta. But if you have something like a Zofia, which can do almost the exact same thing, but have a lot more utility and a lot more impact for the entire squad through the usage of claymores, and of course, concussive rounds and blast rounds, why do you want to pick up an Ash over something like that? You would question it. And in that very sense, maybe the targeted ban could happen for the sake of the memes, but I don't really think so. Another cap cap? Come on.
Capcan bans can
Or
happen.
maybe a blitz.
A blitz, and I'm not quite sure whether if a blitz ban can happen, but an Amaru ban that can happen. Amaru, being picked most of the time, so maybe an Amaru ban. But yeah, I'm pretty sure that memes aside, knowing that the spot is on the line on the grand finals, would you be making a meme pick like that? Would you be making a meme pick, knowing that getting a chance on the grand finals would at least confirm more credits in your hands, right? I'm pretty sure that having, if I can just get the information on here, yeah, having 3,000 in-game credits just by having a spot on the grand finals, it's much more greater than 1,800 in-game credits. So I'm pretty sure that the competition will be as high as you'd expect. And when it comes to seriousness, I'm guessing that Team Uwu would exactly be doing that. So standard band pick nonetheless. And of course, we're still waiting for the players to arrive in the lobby so that when the time is done, we can just proceed into the matchup without having any hiccups. But we still don't have that information just yet. So you guys are just stuck with us. So yeah, that's pretty much what we could say on the teams side. We talked a lot about bands phase. We talked about the players. Now, what else do we have left here, aggressive? What else am I missing? Am I missing something else? Are we missing about the next Pro Series? Yes, we still have our Pro Series still up and running, which will happen on our next month. The usual, the usual tournament format. The first qualifiers, the second qualifiers, and also, I mean, having a chance into getting towards the playoff side. So we just got an information regarding the player on the side of Team Crouch Potatoes. One of the players have an unexpected power cut, which means that this match might take a longer as you'd expect it to be. And again, we do have to apologize for that when it comes to connectivity issues, when it comes to connectivity issues and power cuts. The only thing that we could do is give them time, but when it exceeds more than that, I'm quite sure that we might have to start the matchup on a 4v5 major disadvantage. So yeah, again, we just got the confirmation on our admin's side that we have to take a short little break. Again, apologies for that when it comes to delays like this, but yeah, hold on for a moment, folks. We'll just be taking a short little break, and we will be right back with the second map. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are back. And again, we do have to apologize for the delay which has been caused from Cross Potatoes end. But without further ado, we will proceed with map number 2, Border. Starting off with the ban phase itself, it will be Team Cross Potatoes who will be banning their operators. And interestingly enough, they decide to ban the Zofia here. I'm pretty sure that it will be the same bans that we saw on map number 1. Don't you think, Aggressive?
Looking to be in a little bit more of an interesting light though, because again, Sophia getting banned out. Crossed Potatoes, they're going hard on trying to stop them from being an absolute nuisance on every end. Nomad, pretty standard ban coming into this sideline as well. But, there's no Thatcher ban. Again, this is the first time we've ever seen Thatcher not get banned on Border, because this is one of the maps where he's absolutely oppressive. Come on.
Cap can again.
For the
from
sake
Team
of the
Uvo.
means. Gotta live with the means.
Yeah, unfortunately, Cap can't be in map number 2, Border. That's unfortunate. But all in all, we just have to wait for the final bans coming in on Team Crouch Potatoes, especially on defense. So what will it be? It will be the Mira. No change at all on the usual stuff, but in the end, that would be our operators being banned on map Border. Zofia, Mira, Nomad, and Cap Can, who won't be joining on Border. So the first map itself, the first round itself will be on second floor armed lockers and archives. Pretty much the usual as you'd see on a map, pretty usual as you'd see on this map. And now we just got to see whether Team Uvu can handle out their attack push on this matchup, especially up against Team Cross Potatoes. This is their map pick after all, so let's see how well it turns down to them, knowing that they have the advantage of the map pick.
Attackers need to locate and defuse bombs.
See how this one pans out for them though. Again, these bans, I don't know how I feel about the Capcan, but sure, maybe we just don't want to deal with the traps. They want to go for the W key warrior plays that they normally go for, but this time around, Drish is letting Kato have the reins. Complete control coming on down from the Ash. Possibly will be a nuisance, but with the frost mats in place, these rushes will get a lot more difficult unless they're able to spot it out early. Wait, no Thatcher?
No Thatcher.
They have to know, right? That there's a...
Locate a bomb and defuse it.
Never mind.
You know, sometimes when you play any ranked game and you realize that Thatcher isn't banned, in your mind it still kind of feels like Thatcher is banned, and usually in the first round it might have, it kind of ended up thinking that it is a Thatcher ban, and then when you finally head back into round 2 and see the ban phase, you're like, wait a minute, Thatcher isn't banned, how about we just use Thatcher instead? You know?
Then you use Thatcher, you immediately lose the round. And they're like, oh, guys, Thatcher is banned, we're not using him anymore.
Yeah, that Thatcher is banned, guys. I'm pretty sure Thatcher. We're not supposed to be, we're not supposed to be playing Thatcher on map Border. But jokes aside, Team Uvu will decide to not bring Thatcher instead and decides to make
These
that
grenades are
different
just being
approach
used. They're just
into a
chucking
archive.
nades for no reason.
Yeah,
What are they gaining out of them?
nothing. They haven't found any good values out of that grenades. You still have Dagger with a single use of grenade, which will be used on towards archives, but yet it will work of no value. And this time, Cross
They have no more
Potatoes,
grenades now.
no more grenades. Loads of utilities been wasted around just to get control of archives and also on second for army lockers. And you could say things are working out well from Team Cross Potatoes end. But will this work out though? Okay, alright. That's a weird stuff.
What was the game plan there? Hello?
No, I was just...
kill onto Mojo. What is happening? Trish is already at the side. He went over to the half wall and got a kill? From Archive's window. The man ran in from window.
Oh boy, post plant it is. My goodness, what just happened on this round? Jesus. 2v3, and now Uwu is currently the one who's having the advantage, of course, but you could say that they're still bringing this back up, especially with Cobra and Vinci was still alive, not for long. Not for long. 1v1. Ragnarok. He has to clutch. He hears the sound. Vinci.
Don't
He does not
fake.
want to fake it, but he still gets it away anyways. But he still wins it. Vinci is patiently timed. And Cross Potatoes will manage to win round number 1.
Defenders win.
Alright. That's just one way to start off the first round itself. And also, I just kept looking at the Ashes holographic site. It just went all over the place. I just kind of, I got caught off guard mainly because of that. But all in all, round number 1 at the hands of Team Cross Potatoes with a 1v1 victory from Vinci. And now they just gotta ensure that they would not make the same mistakes as they did in the previous round, with the different side being picked, which will be on bathrooms and tellers.
Okay. But that first initial round really just
Defenders
felt like one of those
bomb
confused
defused
Unga
by
Bunga
attackers.
games. You just remember yesterday we were playing together. We just had no idea what was happening for the entirety of that match. We were just like, hey, we see an enemy, we shoot, we get a kill, we die, we get a trade. That's it. This is kind of what's happening here in this instance as well. What exactly is the game plan for a lot of these fights, man? Because they just started rushing in towards the site. They started blind throwing nades all across the map. And at the end of the day, it was down to a 1v1.
Yep. You could say it's almost as a random chance, like hoping that some of the nades would connect, and that's exactly what happened on round number 1. They kept throwing nades, hoping that they'd find an opening pick or not, but turns out most of the players were on second floor, and none of them were chose to gain control on first floor itself. Kitchen and the entirety of workshop was not in the hands of Crouch Potatoes. They could have made an attempt on through that, but DZ.
My god.
Okay, almost. Naughty Ashret. He almost gets himself caught off, but he still gets it.
This is
anyways.
an IQ on entry. Hello?
Attackers
Yep, an IQ on entry, and it's DZ who gets the
Where's
initial
the
flag
Ash?
out.
What is the Ash? Ash is the real IQ now?
I guess so. Maybe the Ash would use the the explosive utilities to get one, but okay. Second frag comes back, and it's Ragnarok who gets the better ends. But Dark Lord, he's still alive, and he might be able to change the way to bring Crouch Potatoes back on this round.
I have no idea how this is gonna play out. Dark Lord is a nuisance on a lot of different ends, and these upside down repels could just be the downfall. Cobra taking a good chunky amount of damage, tries to run across. Gonna be able to get across though. Perfect for him, but those fuse charges are an absolute nuisance. Just completely clear out different types of sightlines. So much utility being destroyed as well. A lot to worry about, and because of it, they're not able to take these entries down as perfectly as they would have wanted. But look at Dark Lord. His position is so good, and Cobra! Ouch, that's gonna hurt.
That has definitely got to hurt. Mojo is just left in 1v4. Won't be able to contest that inverted repel from Dagger. And Uvu will respond back with their attack rounds, winning round number 2. And in the end, it will be equalized nonetheless. You could say on this round, on round number 2, you saw how Uvu were taking, their sweet time on getting control on the second floor. You even saw them get the initial frag outs, especially with DZ, who just brought in the IQ, just waltz away, looks at Naughty Ashret, who was playing as the castle at that time, proned, hoping that he would get the initial frag outs, but ended up being at the wrong place at the wrong time. Boy, oh boy, did Uvu took advantage of that very quickly on round number 2. And we do get to see some appreciations being made from Drish's end. Well played, Dagger. Was a good place from Dagger from his end. Actually,
That
no,
upside down
Drish-
repel just found
yeah.
so much value.
Yeah, it did. It did. Ended up Dagger getting 3 kills from that inverted repel, in which Crouch Potatoes had a lot of problems from that side itself. They were more likely opened up on multiple angles where they had to figure out a way to get a safe spot. But when they tried to get it, they did ended up getting themselves picked out one by one.
10 seconds left before
In these instances, you need to start figuring out even more here.
5 seconds remaining.
Ooh. they're in a pretty tough spot regardless, even if they did win out on that last round, because with this heading on down over onto bathroom, the site is just going to be a lot more difficult to take over, especially if Crouch Potatoes have a strong hold on that second floor. But their second floor presence is a little bit lacklustered here. And this could just be their downfall if they're not careful in this instance. Crouch Potatoes, though, it seems as though leaving the Thatcher open is their kryptonite in a lot of these different cases. As soon as they find a Thatcher on their team, the team just has a massive disconnect in their minds, it seems. Like, if Jack was here, he would understand, especially after what happened yesterday about Baby Dark Lord. He's gonna change things out. Beautiful frag over onto one. The IQ just takes a back seat. That's a hefty hit, man. And with this, the members of Woo Woo, they've already lost a big chunk of their firepower because they need to open up a lot of the floors and they still have no sledge. Yes, the buck is present, but the skeleton key, it's only going to be good for a couple. But again, Ragnarok, he's been taken down quite early on in a lot of different engagements. So if he dies out, that's the last soft breacher that they have.
And he needs to find that
nice
Dagger.
shot.
What a shot. What a shot from Dagger. In which taking out Thunderbird would at least help them equalize their man count itself, 4-4. Although DZ had been picked out quite early, they are still holding on. And especially with that huge noises being made towards the armored lockers, they know exactly where the players' locations are. But how will they remove Dark Lord out? Because Dark Lord, he's the main threat. He's the main cause of threat for Team Uwu. And with him not being able to, getting picked out on round number 3 will cause a lot of problems in this late rounds.
Open it
That
up.
will be opened
Skeleton
up, and
keys.
Dagger still does wonders from that inverted repel. 2 kills, not only to get picked out from Dark Lord nonetheless, he's been still alive. He is still alive, and that alive itself will bring Crouch Potatoes in a very good mood. Naughty Astrid, on the other hand, beautiful, good use of his SMG-12 to get the shot out. Fortunately, we couldn't get to see him from his perspective. In a 2v3 situation, we see Team Uwu be at a very bad spot. Can they bring this back?
Very difficult unless they get a kill on the Dark Lord, man. He's just been such a nuisance in so many of these instances. And wait, there's a frag? Was that an accident?
I'm guessing that Thresh used his grenade to open up vertical line of sight.
You still have your buck? Oh wait, no, the buck's not.
Yeah, Buck's been gone, so he was trying to use the grenade to open up vertical line of sight, and fortunately that did not work out well for him. The plan
Wait,
needs
no
to
one's
happen.
holding this?
No one's actually holding it. Thresh, on the other hand, just trying his best efforts to hold his ground. Skeleton key plan needs to happen. No C4, so there is a chance
Yeah,
for
they're
it
done.
to happen. No, reload.
Oh, yeah,
No,
that's a knife,
okay,
that's a knife,
alright,
that's a
alright.
knife, that's a knife.
Alright, it's a knife.
It's
It's a
okay.
knife. Crisis averted, boys. Nothing happened. Don't worry about the bailiff reload. Dark Lord was meant to do that. It was intentional of him to get the knife in the end to get the style points up to S rank. Crouch Potatoes will win round number 2 with ease, and in round number 4 they're back on the
Okay.
same site. Second floor armor lockers and archives.
Can I just ask you something, Baba?
Go ahead.
Why did the Finka stay upstairs while the buck went down when the buck could have played for vertical?
That actually makes sense. That actually makes sense. It would have been better if Buck would have opened up line of sight, and the grenade could have been even much more better with getting the frag out. Mainly because Ragnarok had the diffuser and he decided to go downstairs to go for the plant, maybe, and Finka decided that, you know what, I'll hold out the vertical line of sight, I'll provide you cover, so you go for the plant. So that's me being the devil's advocate for Team Uwu. So if Ragnarok was playing as the Finka and he was the one holding that angle, maybe he could have gotten a kill or two. And of course, the LMG is a very powerful weapon in this patch. So they decided to let Ragnarok do the plant, and Finka unfortunately couldn't get to win majority of his gunfights, which did ended up being in favor for Team Crouch Potatoes. That's what I'm guessing at this point.
Back over onto Armory again. No Thatcher once more. They're going to rely on the Twitch to be an absolute nuisance for these fights. They have a lot of grenades to play around with, but again, use these grenades in a proper manner, my dude. just can throw out these grenades as if you're throwing out a Pokeball.
And impacts.
Bomb located by attackers.
Yeah, I still remember I had a friend who used to call impacts as Pokeballs.
But I still call them Pokeballs.
Both frag grenades or just the impact?
No, not frag grenades, just the impacts. They actually look like one.
Yeah, they actually do look like one.
You know
The
the
only difference-
Master Balls? Not the Master Balls. I think there was a Deluxe Ball that was green in color.
Oh yeah.
Whenever
you're
I saw it for the first time, I was like, yes, Pokeball.
I'm definitely catching operators with this.
Yes. I actually did that with the Chimera once. Literally started running into my opponent, completely hit it, and I just threw a Pokeball at them. They died, and I just ran away.
There you go.
Okay,
First kill from
Ragnarok.
Ragnarok. He might
He's
be able
gonna
to
run
find a
away.
second. No, he still won't. An instant refrag will come in from Cobra's end. Ending things off on a 4-4 equalizer, but the chaos will never stop because we still have Drish. One
Oh
kill,
my
the
God,
second,
stop. Take a
almost a
second
chance
for
for
it.
that to happen. But in the end, we will see some frag outs being made, and amidst all of that chaos, it will be Team Crash Potatoes who's still facing the wrong end of the stick. 1v4, and it's Mojo who needs to clutch this out.
2 players on 1 HP though, so Mojo has a pretty good opportunity to try and take this one away from them. Jaeger, very powerful weapon in the hands of this man. But the diffuser, it's not under control. Where's the diffuser at, boy?
Where's the diffuser? Yeah, I just realized. Where is it?
Wait, is it in spawn?
Cover the
Hello?
diffuser.
Yeah, actually, yeah, they recorded the diffuser nonetheless. Yeah, there you go. But in the end, it does not matter because Kato has finally found the last player, Mojo, out of the play. And also Uvu manages to equalize it 2-2.
What do you sound? But
You know, yeah, go ahead, Aggressive.
I have no idea how the side of who are able to take this. This is the first time I've ever seen an ace just casually run into a site as if it was a Sophia and an Ash and just start entry fragging. Like, honestly, everyone's an entry fragger in this game. I'm like, just do whatever you want, man. I'm not even gonna try to analyze it anymore.
Yeah, it's like you playing as the Caveira and just you just throw your impact nades and says, "I choose you, fragger."
And the funniest thing was the Sludge actually played into it and typed in all chat, "Yes, I am now yours to command." And I'm like, what is wrong with you?
Oh, boy.
Oh god. It was a fun rank game, okay? Those were one of the fondest memories I ever had in Siege. There's so much goofy things that you can do in this game. It's just incredible.
It really is. Amidst all of that seriousness that we get to cast most of the time in the community cups, there are some certain moments where you just, sit back, relax, enjoy some fun moments between these teams,
Yeah, this is one of those, but again, it's surprising because you would expect them to be on top form, just constantly going in for a lot of misdirectional plays. But at the end of the day, we have to remember they are playing serious, but at the same time, they're friends. They've known each other for the longest time. Each and every single one of these players, they've been in this scene for years. And they've played with each other for years as well. And when you're having fun in the game of Siege, sometimes those are the moments when you know you're playing at the peak of your own game. But maybe these, he could just be sitting on the floor as well if he's not careful. The engagements are not really going to be going in his favor, but still the Jaeger is up to the mark.
A bomb has
Positions are good, and the attackers have gained some info with the drones, but not really the best of sightlines for them to get fun.
Yeah, for Team Uvu, they are yet to make a response. Although they found some information on the attack drones, again apologies. Still see Kato, still decides to be aggressive, but he forgot about the player, Dark Lord, who,
They're so good on these
Inside.
trades, man.
yeah, they are good, but when it comes to information on the attack drones, not a lot. Second kill will come in from Cobra's end. And for Team Uvu, losing 2 of the important players will put Cross Potatoes in a decent spot here. Dagger, on the other hand, major damage towards Cobra, but he'll still stay alive nonetheless. He has one of his Pokeballs. He could use it right from outside the windows. Still stay alive. Diffuser has been dropped, which means that Team Uvu are going full-on aggressive plays. And here comes Dark Lord. Once again, headshot to take out DC. And now Dagger needs to make a play. Can he remove Dark Lord of the equation? Yes, he does. Tries to make his attempts. 3v2, recovers the diffuser back, and now they just need to focus on the first row side. As we see both the players on the side of Team Uvu are yet in the same situation as they were in the previous round.
Yeah, but still, in this situation, at least they have a sledge to play around with. No grenades whatsoever, though. So it could be pretty rough. Legion also giving away ample amounts of information all across. 54 seconds still left the clock. A lot of time to play around with because they have established the most important sideline for themselves. But that Legion, man, an absolute annoyance. Before, this thing used to deal so much damage, but now it's a lot more bearable at the very end. A silent drop coming in from Dagger. It's actually all the way in. Good shot. Could have been there, but no. He gets taken out, and that's a lot of Legion goo mine. What? Oh, hello!
I think it was a spectator bug, I'm guessing, because I'm pretty sure that wasn't a hip fire. But all in all,
If it was,
that would have been amazing. Yeah, 1v1, Mojo's just sprinting outside, but it's too late. It's post-plant, and now Drish needs to find a way to win this. Can he get it? Does a good amount of damage, though, from his end. 30 seconds left, and Drish doesn't have any grenades whatsoever, but he wants to make his presence
he doesn't
known
know.
on second floor.
Wait, what's the game plan here? What is he going for?
I guess he wants to surprise Drish. Maybe use the sledgehammer, Drish. Come on. Use the sledgehammer. Bonk him in his head. See
No,
whether that
that's a
works
drop. That's a drop from the hatch.
out. Uh-oh.
Oh, no.
Oh, maybe he could just use this vertical line of sight to his advantage. Yeah. Okay, opens it up. Mojo's
yeah, that's
and
a-
now
yeah, he
it's at
can't
the
do
point
anything.
of no return. It's at the point of no return. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, that's a
the shot.
spectator bug. There's no way. If that was an actual hip fire thing, like, God, no, man.
Oh boy, you just gotta love Siege. Round number 5 in the hands of Team Uvu, putting themselves on the lead 3-2. And now, with round number 6 being in play, you could say that Team Uvu are looking great in this round.
Are the instances that just completely mesmerizes you. Ooh, they were able to take full control in a very unconventional manner, man. But Cobra, he could have done so much more there. Going up against Dagger, though, it's so difficult as well. This one Twitch has been an absolute nuisance for the side of Crouch Potatoes. They're just not able to get anything done. No control established whatsoever. And each and every time they have a certain line of sight under their wraps, Dagger just comes in and casually takes it back. His impact frags are just incredible. I'm pretty sure that Dagger could easily have 100% cost in this entire game because of how impactful he is throughout each and every one of these rounds. And same goes for Dark Lord. Dark Lord's doing the exact same thing. His trades are absolutely gorgeous.
10 seconds left.
7 kills to Dagger. 7 kills to Dark Lord. It's funny how it's Dagger and Dark Lord who usually get the
Bomb and defuse it.
most kills in this
The
matchup.
double Ds.
DZ from Finker's end, 2 kills. Not looking good from his end. Although we were witnessing a lot of cooked nades in the first map, Oregon. Map number 2, however, it's just full-on frontal gunfights. And when it comes to gunfights, it's usually Dagger who did get majority of the kills while he was rappelling down. He was making an inverted rappel from the Windows side of Tellers. But you cannot be on the same site most of the time now, would it?
Kind of stuck in a spot though. Ooh. They need this one last round to have a proper hold for this line. Kind of surprising that he just left his Twitch drone there. I thought he would just pull it back and maybe use it for another peek and then the attackers could have just played off of it, but nope. Not really the instance that we were expecting here. A couple of shots being taken though from each sideline. They've opened up a lot of the barricades, and because of it, things could be better. But Vinci? Wait, what? He finally shut down Dagger. And also Vinci, he has a lot of health to play around with as well. He's healthy for this.
It's looking good. The breaches have been made towards the fountain side. and Team Uwu have no intentions of stopping. Especially DZ. You still need to be careful from below, DZ! Come on, man!
Okay, I think he just fell asleep. Like, what? I don't know who's on crouch potatoes because I've never seen anyone crouch that angle and then peek it like that. Wait, what?
Alright. It's a messy round nonetheless, but in the end, it's Crouch Potatoes who gets the upper hand. Kato left in a 1v4. The G336 assault rifle definitely not working too much from his end. Defuse has been dropped, and so does his at the hands of Cobra. Crouch Potatoes will end things off in the first half, equalizing it on a 3-3 score line, which means the job's not done yet. Second half, highly clear chance that this match could go all the way to decide a skyscraper, and Team Uwu are currently the one on defense.
I am so confused of what just happened here. This round was just lackluster, to say the very least. Again, the drone play a little bit scrappy coming in from the side of Uwu when they were going in for the engagement, and the trades as well. Not really as perfect. You would expect the funnel to come in, but not even that. Why do I get the feeling that they had no idea where the site was? Because I expected a swap to come in from the operator pickups, but even that didn't come in at all. Surprises all around coming in from the side of Crouch Potatoes and of course Uwu, but again, this time around they're on the defensive side, so things could be a bit more different. Uwu, they've shown a lot of proficiency when it comes down to their defense, and they don't make as many mistakes as they do on the attack. Much more stronger side for them, but the real question is how strong is their border, to be exact. Ragnarok could just be an absolute nuisance here, placing those electro claws over onto the corner. Yeah, that thing's not gonna get broken anytime soon, but the Thatcher has been picked up, so it doesn't really matter where you place those claws. The Thatcher will instantly deactivate them.
Just like the Thatcher says, only a 6-inch blade never loses reception. Okay, Dark Lord, already into a security room. Starting things off with a gunfight in which they have ample amount of information on one of the players' whereabouts. Not a headshot from Kato, but it will be Cobra who gets the first frag nonetheless. That's interesting coming in from Crouch Potatoes' end, but in the end they'll get the first early frag, and that is Kato who's already gone from the security room. They have ample amount of controls, and now we get to see the way how the attackers are just slowly getting control. Although the side is on the side of second floor, they want to ensure that none of those flanks would come in from Team Uwu's end. And they're just slowly ripping things off, one by one. Especially Cobra, getting his second frag. And he ensured his team that none of them would happen. Again, accidental throw of that impact. But Dagger! Okay, Dark Lord's gone. Not quite sure exactly what was the game plan there from that burst. He could have just waited for the breach to open up. Good play for info, that's for sure. They're losing a lot of time, and DZ, he might be able to lose his life. He'll still stay alive. Oh boy, close. Very close.
They're all hunkered in this side though, and they have no information to play around with. A lot of different angles they have to worry about, and one by one they're able to get a dagger again, man. This one person's just been an absolute nuisance. Looking for another one, doesn't really find it. Good crouch coming in from Naughty, but I don't think he's gonna be able to get away with a lot more here. Ragnarok, the only one who is healthy here. Maybe good for another one. Clears out a couple of the drones that are being a pesky nuisance for them. And with this catch, could be another kill for him. But Dagger needs... Sorry, not Dagger. Ragnarok needs to be very careful. Good for the shot. He does find another kill. But it's all up to the Miss Lucy. Does he get cleared? No! Ragnarok's going to be able to find the same. It's a 2 versus 1 situation. Has the angle, has the crossfire set up. But no, the shots are not clean enough. It's all up to DZ. Couple of shots to come in, but no, he wants it for the reload. Why the reload?
All the way from a 2v2 equalizer, ended up with Vinci clutching things out on a 1v2. Cross Potatoes will start things off with their attack win on round number 7. And you could say on map number 2, it's not a usual 1v4 or a 1vx situation that you'd find in between them. It's always those 1v1 gunfights, right? And most of the gunfights we've seen always ended up being in favor for Team Cross Potatoes. Vinci had won the clutch, so did Dark Lord. And on the side of Team Uvu, they've also managed to find some clutches too from their end. 9 kills to Dagger. My goodness, he's such a dangerous player with the MPX. Although he couldn't get the third frag out, and in a 2v2 situation where the attackers had good control on the site, Dark Lord should have been careful. He should have waited for the walls to open up. There was no need for an aggressive push like that. But, you know, if it works, it works. And round number 8, with Cross Potatoes being the ones on the lead 4-3, maybe we could see them get another victory here in this round. No, the site is still the same. Second for Armored Lockers. No change at all from Uvu's end. They don't want to change sides.
I think the side change doesn't happen. They need to get a lot more okay possible run out coming in for a kill. Could have easily swayed in the other direction, man. But again, to get something done. Looking for another one. The run out's gonna be there, but the trade's gonna be instantaneous. Good God, man. Cobra. Capto's just insane. Like, but at the same time, he got the kill on the most important player. The Thatcher's out of commission. So that's huge for them. But again, they don't have anything to deny entry. God damn it. I thought I was going to be smart here, but never mind.
The EMPs won't be available to destroy or disable electronic gadgets, so they should be fine. And Dark Lord, he'll be able to find one more player.
Crosshair placement is so good.
So good. He immediately knows exactly at what position he would be in, and aiming at that spot will just give good control. Vinci, headshot. 2v4. We're back with the D's. Dresh and DZ. Well, it's just Dresh. He was got taken out from Mojo. Cross Potatoes, round number 8 in their hands. And you could say that map border, Cross Potatoes, they are looking very strong.
That's for certain. Each and every turn that they take is just absolutely gorgeous on that end as well. There's not a single situation we have seen Crouch Potatoes be uncomfortable on their own attacking side. Every single drone just funneled the members of UWU into the awaiting arms of Crouch Potatoes. The sweet embrace of death. And UWU, they're walking into its awaiting arms. They need to try and retaliate in some way, shape, or fashion, because this is not how the members of UWU like to play. Normally, they have a lot more control, but the drones are just oppressive. They need something to deny the level of intel that they're gaining. Maybe a Mozzie mute something. Yeah, the Mozzie's gonna get picked up, but without a mute? I don't know how this is gonna pan out for them.
Yeah, what's more interesting is that we see Nordiastre change from a Thatcher to Jackal, so...
Yeah, there's nothing to deny them from reaching in. It's a Kaid claw. They don't need to worry about that, so to try and set up the Amaru a lot better, they went in for the Jackal, so that they can get some info for these fast rushes.
That could work. That could work. And also you have the cluster charges too, right? So like, why would you need EMPs when you have cluster charges to destroy good utilities in the site itself? So makes sense. Yeah, it does make sense. So, but the main problem here is we see UWU lose two of their rounds. Second for Army Lockers twice, and Crouch Potatoes, they could do the same thing on round number 9, and especially with the Gara Hawks already being used from Cobra's end, you could see the aggression just pan out so perfect. And there goes Dresh. There goes your control on second floor. And now Ragnarok. He's the only one who can just bring this back. His location has been revealed. Now Cross Potatoes, they will make their utmost role, or should I say their utmost focus on removing Ragnarok out. And it will be so difficult. You can see 3 players is pushing out, but that C4 will catch off Dark Lord. Mainly because they haven't focused on removing the Valkyrie cams. And this will give so much problems towards them because they have information,
So
but not the
weird.
confirmation on the kill. Second C4, third
What?
C4.
Third C4? Okay, C4's galore.
Attackers dropped the diffuser.
All right.
A
Ooh,
synchronization of C4s. We haven't really seen something like this happen in a while, have we? Just a sync of C4s. 1, 2, 3. A melody that will be heard throughout.
Just one more C4 and you could make the entire definition of the C4 itself. Just one more C4.
damn it.
No,
You would have had your
they-
moment as a caster, wouldn't you?
Yeah, it would have. But they don't have that C4, right? So doesn't work
Yeah,
out.
who needs a C4? You can hit a headshot, right?
Who needs a C4 when you have a 6-inch blade that never loses reception? And that is Dagger who gets the final frag. And with it, we will see Team Uwu bring this back on round number 9. Easier said than done.
Surprising on that end. It's a clean round, not the way you expected it to go either. But okay, they're going in for another play over onto the first floor. Ventilation and workshop will be picked up this time around. And not really a lot of entry denials other than the Mozzie, but pretty good take regardless. Frostmat's coming into play for border. It's a pretty big nuisance as well. The frost can be such a problem for you to deal with if you're going in for a fast rush, but again, this could work out for them. Wait a minute, this frost could shut down Cobra if he's trying to take an entry. If Cobra doesn't drone out properly, he could just get caught in a trap, and that's one of your star fraggers already dead. I think the IQ is gonna change that though.
Yeah. Cross Potatoes finally understood what their main problem was. And that was letting Team Uwu have information, mainly because of Valkyrie cams. That cam was more than enough to get 3 C4 kills from Team Uwu.
Attackers are moving out to locate a bomb and defuse it.
And now, in the action phase, Cobra will still not change his operator. He'll still bring in the Amaru, which means that second floor armory lockers will be a pain for Team Uwu to handle it out, unless and until if they expected it, if they expect this. Selma Breach already being used. I'm guessing it should be.
Oh,
used on
here's the
second
grappling
floor.
hook. Where did he go?
Where is it? Nope.
Oh, it's just not in.
He's just still outside. He just wants to give a bit of a jump scare and then realize that no, it's just a fake jump scare. The real jump scare happens in the next 10 seconds. And that is Dark Lord, who gets Dagger.
That's a big hit as well. Dagger getting taken down. I don't think he even plays down both of his electric claws. Still have so much to worry about, and Cobra's already making his way in. Second floor is theirs to take over, but one by one they need to take down even more. That was the Mozzie drone completely getting shut down. Information denied all across, but they need a way to try and get these claws off these hatches. Ooh.
C4s again. This time not finding its mark. And now with losing Dagger, it's easier for the attackers to, open up those hatches. But how can you focus on the flank?
Timing!
Ragnarok. My goodness. Every single time we see one of the defenders, going in for the flanks, they usually miss their timing, and that attack drone
was
is
staring
more
at
than
the
enough to give
drone.
information. Yeah, he shouldn't have
The
done
guy
that. He
was
should
just
have been
staring
so
at the
careful.
phone.
Should have been. And Kato makes a second attempt. I don't know why. Mojo gets one, and now it's Drish with the Super 90. 1v5. Drish against the whole team of Crouch Potatoes. So fun. Oh man, Crouch Potatoes. The name itself is so funny. Flawless round it is as Cobra gets the frag. And with it, we will see Team Crushed Potatoes put themselves on map point. The game's not over yet, folks. Map number 3 can be a possibility.
Couch potatoes don't really crouch that much.
They don't.
It's ironic. For
They could have
Uwu,
just they could have just changed the name from Crouched Potatoes to Standing Potatoes.
honestly, that would have made a lot more sense.
Imagine the Standing Potatoes just peeks left and right.
And imagine they start crouching because they're standing potatoes.
Oh Jesus.
The analogy is there.
Yeah.
But for Uwu, the analogy for them won't really work out that way.
Attackers need to locate and defuse as many bombs as they can.
I'm guessing
Their name
Uwu's-
shows that they're happy, but
yeah.
turn it upside down, they're extremely sad because they're at match point at this point. And they need to try and figure things out here. Their strategies are just not panning out the way that they want at all. In any of these instances, going in for a double heal strat to try and be aggressive, but
Discovered the location of a
their
bomb.
aggressive plays have not panned out a single time.
It's a moment of truth whether if Crouched Potatoes can end map 2 or will Uwu bring this back.
5 seconds.
IQ had worked out too much for Ashrat, right?
Attackers are moving to defuse
And opting out for Thatcher, the side being on second for armory lockers requires them to open up walls towards armory. So you'd need it. You definitely need it, especially for Vinci. Now, last time I remember, they were firmly focused on second for service. Now you see some, changes being made from the sites itself, especially the line of sight from Drish and DZ, who will be currently playing towards main hallway. What will be the end result? Would it work out, or will Crouched Potatoes end up winning this?
I'll grab us some intel.
A lot of shots being laid around, and yet we won't see any response being made from the defenders. They just want to wait. They want to see if they find one of the players from the cams. Once they have their timing right, they'll be able to get the frag.
Oh no. Oh, Drish. Man, I don't like this pickup from the Oryx. This Oryx is just... I don't know, dude. Whenever I see an Oryx, I always get that weird and awkward feeling of what the game plan could be in a lot of instances. But maybe with DZ, there's a chance for a possible C4 kill. C4's gonna go off. Doesn't really find anyone, though. That's a pretty massive hit. Wait, never mind. DZ's gonna be able to find one. He has the info. He's able to capitalize. That's the first for his squad, and he's now looking for even more. Could just be a kill, and that's the shot. That's the kill under the diffuser. He finds everything. God's work being done by DZ, and he's getting everything done in style. Darkworld's gonna be able to find the shutdown. The Finka still is alive and kicking, but no more adrenaline surges to play around with. One more grenade in hand, but DZ? Okay, buddy. He's just going in.
He just went ham.
Incoming adrenaline boost.
50 seconds, and Crouched Potatoes, they finally managed to open up the site, and DZ, prone peek, and Vinci decides to fall back. Actually, no, it was Darklord decides to fall back, but he still gets the kill anyways.
Oh my god, he still finds it.
My
The
goodness.
man is so good. DZ! Like, how are you doing this? They can't even entry. They have no utility to force it way through.
attackers
They're gonna take so much damage trying to go through these Aruni gates.
But Vinci gets it anyway. Squad kill for DZ.
Get the ace, buddy.
DZ,
Oh.
careful. Oh, jeez.
recovered the diffuser.
He was thinking of an angle, but my goodness. It was too late.
5 seconds left.
Needs to go for plant, and DZ is just patiently waiting for it. This might be the ace if he gets the kill, and he gets it.
DZ! This is
one for the
highlight reels, man. This guy just pulled off an ace and a half, possibly the best ace of this entire tournament. That was incredible. He single-handedly played the entirety of the defense in their favor. He pulled everything back.
What a play from DZ. ace to end things off at that. And somehow he just went under the radar from Cross Potatoes. They've played so much defensive utilities. You saw there were two claymores. Both of them were destroyed. And somehow Cross Potatoes had no idea that DZ's presence was shown on server
Attackers
room.
need to locate and defuse as many bombs.
And boy oh boy, did he get away with an ace like that. Team Uwu, they're back at the round of ones. They can equalize a 6-6 to, you know,
Attackers have located a bomb.
start an overtime. But the side that they've picked is a difficult one at that. Team Uwu, they did succeed this side. There's also high likely chances that Cross Potatoes can win this if they get their second floor control up and running. And with Nordia Shrid being in the IQ, which is in fact a heavy counter towards DZ's cams. And Ragnarok,
5 seconds to
turns out the plays from the Oryx is not working out too much, so I think it should be better if he, you know, play with DZ accordingly, provide support, have double, you know, angles in a way that they could, you know, end up getting a trade or two. But Uwu, they are mainly winning due to individual gunfights that has been won, right? We've seen a lot of individual plays that Uwu has succeeded most of the time, and Cross Potatoes, it's definitely not working too much from their end. Even with Vinci getting a quad kill like that, it still didn't work out.
The way that they wanted in these instances either. Ragnarok though, trying to be a nuisance with his buddy Kato on his side, and that's a lot of information being gained. Kato, the fact that he's playing the Mozzie over on towards the second floor, that's actually perfect. Deny that intel, make sure they can't get away that easily, but Cobra, maybe with the LMG, he's gonna be a nuisance that they need to deal with. If they get this kill though, this could just be a guarantee for overtime. Things could go either way. Any way, shape, and form. They gotta play it slow. They gotta play it smart. But Vinci, he's already given the pigs, man. Look at that drone placement. Axel ran up a drone! Possibly a catch over to one, and Ragnarok, he has nowhere to run. Goodbye, good night. Sleep tight, boys. That's gonna be the entry. And now they're gonna be able to move their way out.
Okay, two
Pre-play
pre-play
C4?
C4. Two of them. One does not connect. Will the second connect though? And I'm pretty sure that's not gonna connect because Kato used his
C4 's used
C4 to
early.
destroy another C4. What is this C4ception?
This is why
They've
you don't
lost.
watch Interstellar.
But
Oh,
DZ
what?
still gets the kill, okay. Falls back to safety, and now they just gotta wait it out. Gas canisters being used to fend off or not give an attempt from the smoke gas canisters, but it's way
Wait,
up high
does he
in
still
the
have
air.
his black eyes?
I think it still has. Yeah, they have ample amount of
The
information
IQ 's
from
dead.
the information. Yeah, the IQ is dead, and now they can just use that information from the Valkyries black eye cams. Just give them good info. They can just play the safe.
They even break this. The claws placed in such a way that you're not going to be able to break this one easily. What do they have in this instant to try and get this hatch open? Oh god, this is bad. Wait a minute, ooh, are they going to get away with it just because they can't open a hatch? Wait a minute, what?
Oh, how are they getting away with this? 15 seconds, Mojo prepping for a sledgehammer, drop from the hatch, and now we see the surprise attack. Mojo goes down. Actually, Mojo's still alive, but DZ is still alive doing his own plays. 1v3, Vinci needs to open up the summer breeze charges, but not a lot of time left. And with it, Uwu will get a chance for overtime.
How even?
How?
Are you serious? Is it always when the Thatcher is open that this stuff happens?
I guess so, aggressive. I guess so. It's funny how Thatcher isn't banned and yet we don't play Thatcher. It could have helped them on second floor workshop. They could have just applied pressure, but no, we don't do that here. We get control on second floor. We open up
Attackers need
lines
to
of
locate
sight.
and defuse bombs.
Then we
And
just get
then
stuck
hope-
on a hatch.
either from DZ or from Kato.
Attackers have discovered the location of a bomb.
Now, I'm not going to say that Crouch Potatoes have done fair share of mistakes. Uwu has done 2 in the previous round.
They have done
Especially that C4 from Kato. He could have just said to DZ that, hey, detonate the C4. He could have just said that. That would have at least gained a kill or 2, but no. All's well that ends well, because for Uwu, they finally managed to equalize it 6-6. And now it's time for C4 galores at the hands of Standing Potato. Actually, Crouch Potatoes. Again, sorry about that. For Team Crouch Potatoes, they have 4 C4s and a Valkyrie Black Eye Camps to give them good info on second floor. So all it requires is just timing, and that timing is more than enough to give Crouch Potatoes the win that they need on defense. Will it happen, or will Uwu succeed on their attack rounds? Only time will tell in this action phase.
See how it pans out for them. Because you can already see something being in the works, and oh boy, Vinci maybe got caught with his pants down there, buddy. You gotta be careful. You're one of the biggest points for this. And Dokubi's been picked up as well. That's massive. Dokubi is so powerful in this particular instance because of how much information that can be gained. And because of it, they have so much avenues to play around with. Entries have been made all around. The breaching torches to open the... What? I'm done. I'm gone. Baba, you're on your own. Goodbye.
What? Why? Why? I have no clue. Why would you? Alright. Dark Lord gets away with 2 kills through the Maverick hole. And now Uwu, they lost 2 players in the early round. Not a single C4 has been expended. What is happening?
Time for double trouble. Cover me.
Jeez. On the bright side, you can still say that Dokkaebi is still alive. So maybe if they could get a kill or 2...
Just go to the next round. Honestly, at this point, nothing's working out in your favor. The entire Siege world is against you. The Siege gods don't want you to have anything to go in your favor. It's just mistake after mistake, and it happens. But for Uwu, they're trying to pick up the broken pieces by getting some kills at the bare minimum. If they're able to equalize and fight this round,
Covered the diffuser.
honestly, I have no idea what Siege is anymore and how it's supposed to be played.
There's no way in heavens will Uwu win this round. Alright? Post plant is in. DZ is somehow uncontested. And the amount of pressure that they're applying, this can go for an... This could have gone for a post plant, but Cobra denies it. So does Dark Lord. Gets hit with yet another kill with the MX4 Storm. And now it's Dagger. Left in a 1v4. All from right outside the windows of first floor Telus site. 20 seconds, and I'm pretty sure that Uwu... Good
Nice
headshot.
shot.
Good shot. You still need to be careful on the rest of the 2 players. And also you gotta ensure post plant.
10 seconds to
Dagger has no information of this whatsoever, and Mojo will provide some distractions. Wall down. Cobra, does he get the kill? No. It's Dagger who gets it. 1v2, and it's at the point of no return. Uwu will fail this attack round. I have no words to say about round number 13. Bounced off grenade. Maverick's breaching torch ended up being his own demise, with Dark Lord getting 2 kills. All the way towards ventilation room. I have no idea what's happening. I have no idea what's happening. Round number 14.
They're getting over eager to end this. They go to overtime and they're like, yeah, boys, we got this. 2 seconds later, we don't got this. We don't got this.
Yes, and Dark Lord on the other hand. Yeah, we're the ones who got this. Jeez.
Literally, mission failed. We'll get them next time.
protect your bombs from being
Playing in the
used by
background.
attackers.
Press F to pay respects.
Honestly, that grenade was that.
Located by attackers.
That could have ended up in getting like a team kill done immediately. If it was not cooked to perfection, that nade would have guaranteed a team kill.
It would have.
Healing station placed.
That cooked grenade would have just picked out both of them. It was meant to go through the window, right?
Yeah, it was meant to go through the window over
10
to the
seconds
other
left.
side of what's the site name in particular? I forgot it actually.
The site on which is going right now, it's first floor.
No,
Palace.
workshop. It's right next to workshop.
Yeah, it's I think yeah, it is workshop. It is
Yeah.
first floor
Yeah,
workshop.
it
and
was supposed to
ventilation
go into workshop, but
Ventilation,
it actually went into tellers instead.
Man. Now Uvu is on defense, and talk about this entire matchup. All right, aggressive. We've had a lot of defender wins on both border as well as on Oregon. So I'm pretty sure that in round number 15, the team who receives defense is the one who will win this. And that's Crouch Potatoes. That is my prediction. And I'm pretty sure that this prediction I make is 100% guaranteed. It's like 100% certified guaranteed stuff. Cross Potatoes, on the other hand, starts off with a bang, with Ragnarok being picked out. And now they just need to focus on the rest of the 4 players on the side of Team Uvu.
Gemini's out of commission.
I really didn't get as much information as they would have hoped for here. But still, the Iana has a strong entry to play around it, and Kato could be a nuisance in these fights, but Drish, he's getting shot from everywhere. There's drones all around him, just pinging out his position. The poor guy is just in a tough spot. The smoke's not going to be able to get much. In coming from the back. That's going to be another one kill for them. But Drish trying to equalize things out. It will be a 4 versus 3 situation panning out on that end. Kato still no information. Opts to go in for that C4. Doesn't really gain any form of value. And it's all up to Drish, man. If Drish is able to find this kill onto the ace, that will be massive for them. But the ace is not going to have any of it. Running all the way back around, Kato's going to get shut down as well. There's not really a player that can pick him up, but maybe if he gets to a Thunderbird station, he can get himself healed up at the bare minimum.
But on the bright side, Uvu has taken care of time itself. A minute left, and Drish somehow still alive with 3 smoke gas canisters, so he could put this to his advantage. Dagger with a headshot, and Drish will at least help him revive. But the way how aggressive push that Dark Lord is doing right now, Drish might not be able to save his team. But in a 3v2 and Dark Lord who has ample information, it will be Cobra who will get the kill nonetheless. And now it's Dagger who has to clutch this 1v3. 15 kills. We've seen him be in this situation before. He is still in the side. He knows the player's whereabouts. But can he contest the trade? Still has the C4. He could use it to deny post plant. They have good information. Red pings being used from the attackers. C4 toss. Not gonna connect. Sees 1. There goes Dark Lord, but a post plant will be imminent nonetheless. And that will be gone in the hands of Vinci. Yeah, it's not gonna happen. Kraus Potatoes will win map number 2 with completing second overtime, in which we are going to decide as folks. Skyscraper will be the final map. And as I recall, on the matchup when Team Uvu went up against Team Water Boys, things did not go as smoothly as they'd expected it to be.
That was interesting, to say the very least. Let's just say, oh, they just, they did things. Very interesting things that we haven't really seen happen in Siege in quite a long time. But hey, at the end of the day, we got some entertainment out of it. So it's completely fine. We're okay with it. Let's take a couple of steps back. Let's take in a breath of fresh air and just relive all of those moments one more time as soon as the highlights are ready, because I don't really have a lot to say. So
Me neither.
let's just
no words on what exactly happened on map number 2, you know? It's just...
yeah, it was just a lot of mistakes, man. Like, you can't sugarcoat this.
Especially from Uvu's end. The breach that Maverick did on ventilation still haunts me to my head. 14. It was the same site nonetheless, with the same usage of C4s. C4s galores were worked out too much from Uvu's end. Kraus Potatoes tried to ensure doing the same thing, but ended up being quite the opposite. Dagger, great with his excellent shots as the Twitch. I could say the same things for Dark Lord when he was using the MX4 Storm. did made plenty amount of damage, but in the end, it was Crouch Potatoes who did ended up being on the upper hand, winning their map pick. And I'm not gonna say that this was a close run. No, it was not.
It
It was
was not,
so
dude.
much mistakes. I'd like it's like who makes the mistakes most? Is it Crouch Potatoes or Uvu? But
Then this round, dude, I have no idea how they failed this. I have to give credit to Vinci, dude. Like, Vinci just pulled off an incredible clutch, but was it really deserved at the very end? Like, DZ? He could have easily fought for the trade. He could have just swung the corner based upon the information. That would have been perfect for them. But then look at Crotch Potatoes on these particular rounds where they have every single avenue under shutdown. I don't understand this. Like, the team is hot and cold constantly all throughout, and it's going to be another 6-8 overtime win. Going in the side of Couch Potatoes, though, but looking at the overall statistics, I don't know, dude. Like, both teams, they left a lot to be desired for, even in the stats. Other than Dark Lord, of course. Dark Lord just went insane. But that's him.
the amount of luck that Dark Lord had.
No, honestly, he had a lot of fortunate timing. He had a lot of fortunate timings, and of course, he's insane, dude. You have to
Look
give
at
him
the
credit.
initial kills too aggressive. 2 initial kills from Vinci, 3 kills from Cobra, and 3 kills from Dark Lord.
They were
And Uvo, on the
consistent with
other
the first
hand,
frags.
they are confused. They are literally confused. They had no idea what to do on border, especially on the first half. Second half, they tried to, bring things back up on defense, mainly because they had information from Valkyrie, right? That's the only reason why they got to survive in the second half. And then, when Crouch Potatoes came back strong on overtime, we all know exactly what happened. 8-6, 8-6. Map number 1 was at the favor for Team Uvu, and now map number 2, Crouch Potatoes, they also did the same thing. Who knows, maybe this might go all the way to round number 15 on map Skyscraper. We just gotta have to wait for it, folks, because we have to take a small little break, and we will be back with map number 3 finals for this matchup. The winner of this will proceed into the grand finals, going up against Team Water Boys. So, you know what? Let's take a short break.
Alrighty then, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back once again to the Esports Club Community Cup Season 3 for Rainbow Six Siege, supported by Ubisoft, powered by Zotac Gaming, and our broadcast partner, Loco. I'm your host, Blackjack. Joining me, of course, is my co-host, Baba Gusta. I'm stepping in for Aggressive, who unfortunately had to take a step back due to some difficulties that he was facing. So you're stuck with me for the rest of this map and match, because it's map 3 for the game between Team Uwu and Team Crouch Potatoes. We've been through Oregon. We've been through a very close overtime match on Border, and now we move to Skyscraper. Baba Gusta, how are we feeling about this last map?
Oh boy, we are in for last map, huh? Map number 2, always, it did ended up on an 8-6 score line. I mean, it was also 8-6 on Oregon and Border. Map number 3, Skyscraper, not quite sure what exactly is going to happen, but I'm pretty sure that an overtime can be in play here, Jack. So it's a decider, and I'm pretty sure that for Team Uvu, this will be a difficult task for them.
That it just might be, folks, but fear not. We're not gonna keep you here for all that much longer, because both the teams are in, which means it's time to head on into Skyscraper, the final map in this best of 3, which has now evolved into this glorified best of 1 situation, as the Crouch Potatoes will be attacking, Team Uwu will be defending, and it is all down to this last map, last few rounds here. Will it be the last 15 rounds? Will it be the last 10? We'll have to wait and find out. The first ban, Finka from Team Uwu.
Yeah, we saw Zofia ban. We did see a Capcan ban being made from Crouch and Team Uvu. But this time, they'll just go with the obvious. Taking out Finka first will at least give some fighting chance for Team Defenders to hold their ground. But what will be the second attack ban from Team Crouch Potatoes? There's a lot of operators that they could ban. Hard breachers, specific players. But instead, they'll still ban the Sophia. And it's funny how Dagger decides to, type on the all chat. Jokes on you, I don't usually play Sophia a lot. But all in all, let's see what Cross Predators will ban on their defense in map Skyscraper. It will be the Mira nonetheless, no change at all. I'm pretty sure that a Capcan ban will be in play for Team Uvu.
That would be
Definitely
quite
a Capcan
interesting.
you
Yes, it is. What do you know? These are some interesting bands when it comes to Skyscraper. Other than the Mira, of course. We've all seen Mira banned like a million times, right, when it comes to this map. So no real surprises there. But Finka, I mean, I get it. Revive and heal and LMG and Gaunt 6 and grenades and, the list goes on. Zofia, primarily, I think it's for her LMG that she's being banned here, because while Zofia has some pretty good soft breach and other utility, specifically utility burning kind of utility of her own, the concussive nades, because I don't really see them used for much else, they're good, but pretty much a lot of attackers have the same, and if not in their main gadget, they have it in their secondaries and flashbangs or smoke grenades or so on and so forth. So Zofia is primarily either a target ban or a ban for her LMG, which is 150 bullets, next to no recoil, and a pretty good amount of damage at a pretty good range, as it were. And as for Capcan, well, who doesn't like going through doors uninterrupted, right? I'm pretty sure you'd hate it if you went through a seemingly normal door and then exploded into a million pieces. That's what the Capcan ban is for, primarily speaking. Now, Skyscraper, sure, you could have some Capcan traps in some very odd places, but a little bit of good droning, a little bit of good intel gathering, and Capcan traps usually become not entirely worth all of the trouble, but it seems like neither side really just wants to have that trouble in to begin with. So with all that said, round 1, let's get straight into the action. Both teams have had double overtime here now, and we are looking at potentially what could be a third one. Although, to be fair, given that both teams have been fighting this hard, I don't think they're going to have the steam if we go to another overtime.
But it's still on the table though, so maybe it can. Talk about Team Uvu. They were looking good in the first map. They did succeed on their own map pick. Crouch Predators did succeed in their map pick too on Border. But I was pretty sure that they did. It was a very close round nonetheless. Starting off, it will be Vinci. He's not going to waste any time at all by taking out Kato and decides to use both of his air jabs in a place where he could stay safe. But he forgot about Dagger. He's all the way from the stairs. And somehow, you could see that the amount of gun plays that's been happening around, it's favoring for this time of Team Cross Potatoes. An immediate gunfight will happen nonetheless. A lot of shots being registered, and it's Jagger who gets the upper hand into those kills. Cooked nade, will that connect? No, it does not. Dark Lord will make use of yet another grenades to see whether if he can find a player or two, but no, Uwu are currently safe. We'll talk about a minute and 30 seconds left. You see that Team Cross Potatoes, they're the ones who still need to make an attempt on the side.
That was what now? 3 grenades into Karaoke. 2 from, of course, the window, and 1 from down below, and none of them worked in getting the defender out of there. Mojo's decided to go all the way up towards the VIP clearance stairs, that is. Come up from here through the shrine area from Dragon Terrace and get towards the site. Where is the Nomad? Not the Nomad, the Iana. Currently, they're quite spread thin, as it were, because the diffuser, of course, is not in their hands. They're looking for a potential run out, but Mojo could actually go and get the diffuser right now if it weren't for that pesky Doc just sitting at the doorway waiting to get a kill on anyone who wanted to recover that box. And it looks like, ooh, the mute actually does get a pretty good shot off right there. Doc's taking a bit of damage. In the meanwhile, Dark Lord unable to recover the diffuser primarily because, well, the Doc is right there watching this door, but no goes down nonetheless. A brave push from the Iana, only to be met by the SMG-11 of the Mute. That's going to conclude round number 1 in a pretty close fashion. A lot of 1v1s both teams are giving away, but hey, it's just the first round. Ooh, we'll take it.
Yep, they will. Second for Karaoke and Tea Room was, you could say the fight did start off in the early rounds itself, but when it dialed down to a 2v2 situation, it did end up in a trade nonetheless. Uwu will secure round number 1, which means they'll start off with their round win on defense. And now on second round, the site will be on Exhibition Room / Office. The site where Team Cross Potatoes might have the advantage, knowing they have the nomads to deny flanks being made from the doorways, and you can just easily open up lands or side without having any problems, knowing that Thatcher is also available too. Now the only main problem has to be getting control on the site itself. Although you could open up the walls, that does not mean that you have all your jobs completed. You have to get into the building, ensure that your crossfire angles have been taken care of from Uwu's end, and also ensure that he wouldn't get blown off to bits with those C4s. And talk about C4s, you have 3 of them from Ragnarok, Kato, and DZ. You have good amount of information from the Valkyrie's camp, so you have all the time that you need to remove players one by one, especially from Cross Potatoes if they make an attempt. So let's see how well that they produce in round number 2 with the action phase coming into play, and Mojo will bring in the Amaru. Interesting pick of that, because the Gara hook will gain and provide a lot of pressure from second floor. Maybe he'll make an entryway towards Kai's room itself.
I think I kind of have an idea where Mojo might try to use the Gara hook, and I feel like it's going to be from down below. Hear me out here. So, office room, right, where the reinforced wall is, where the attackers have to go and breach every round, that has a hatch. And that hatch is accessible through the closet room from down below. As Mojo will get a kill, never mind, he's just completely elsewhere on the map. My theory is blown out the window before I could even get it out the door. Beautiful stuff today, as we have 1 kill being taken, more lines aside being, opened up, as it were, by the Crouch Potatoes. That first kill onto Uwu, mind you, is going to be very, very influential, because that's their Valkyrie from down below. More importantly, that's 1 of the 3 C4s. Count them, 3 C4s that are in play here today in this map. EMPs and summer breaches were not quite enough to get the wall open. Only a minor line of sight has been made, but never underestimate these small little, sight lines that the ace is always good for. Nonetheless, grenade from below does not find the bandit, but it does in fact clear out the wall once again. Shots are fired, Dagger finds Mojo, and a second kill goes off. Dark Lord goes down. In the corner is the Mozzie, loses the gunfight to Vinci. It's a 3v3 now. Could be another, yes, literally. Smoke and dagger, or smoke and mirrors as they say. I guess I messed up the proverb there. Violet finds 1 in the meanwhile, but goes down on the breach, and it's all down to Cobra. Last one standing. 1v2 here with a minute on the clock.
Necessary, he still has the claymores, but when it comes to information, it's a bit difficult for them to get it. There you go. Information from the attack drones. will immediately detect the mute's whereabouts. And now it's left with the decision on where to make a push. And that too, it has to be through the breach. Ragnarok, he knows exactly what's happening, but oh, would you look at that? Cobra gets to win that gunfight nonetheless. It's a 1v1. The only difference is that Dagger is currently the one who has most of the HP. And Cobra somehow gets away, going very much aggro. Dagger doesn't know its whereabouts and he gets the kill. Alright. What a play from Cobra. Only 5 HP and he succeeds a 1v2 clutch like that. Man, Uwu. They did not expect to see that coming.
I mean, certainly not. It's a 1v2, and you think that with two players lined up and watching the breach, that the Thatcher would go down, no questions asked, but clearly not. The mute should have had that kill. I think Ragnarok will, the mute player from that round, will definitely be holding on to that and not feeling too particularly good about that fact. And on the other hand, also the alibi should have had the kill. Again, both players actually should have had those kills, but they didn't. Unfortunately, just something didn't line up. It's a whole thing. The normal stuff when it comes to your average day in competitive Siege. But the point is that it didn't quite work the way they would have wanted it to, and so we have ourselves another situation where it's 1-1 going into the third round. Both teams are clearly giving it their all, or whatever they have left in terms of energy after a double overtime starter to this match. And clearly they want to get to the grand finals. For both teams, that is Team Uwu and Crouch Potatoes, it is going to be a revenge match, the grand finals that is, since both of them were knocked into the lower brackets by the Waterboys, who are currently sitting waiting for their opponents in that grand final spot. So we've got ourselves a pretty interesting situation here in that the Crouch Potatoes, they would want to go up to the grand finals and try to, get their revenge on Waterboys for their loss earlier in the tournament. While Uwu, they lost the previous match that they had against Waterboys, which was literally a couple of days ago, or a couple of nights ago, depends on how you look at it. And that's why they're here in the decider match. Both teams want revenge, and both teams want to not be interrupted in their quest for vengeance. But who won? Well, one will have to be denied here.
Only one will get to go up. Will get to face off. Sorry, will get to face off against Waterboys in the grand finals. Again, I do have to apologize for that. A bit of a stammering from my end. But as we focus on round number 3, I still see Team Crouch Potatoes taking their sweet time. And Dresh might be able to get a frag or two if he finds the player right from the window side. There's not a lot of attempts being made. It's just the usual, walls being opened up from the second floor exhibition site. There's no changes. It's just the waiting games to see whether if they can get an opening pick or two. One of the roams won't be, as dangerous as you'd expected it to be, but Dresh is thinking of a run out here. And that run out might be able to give a good change of pace, because one of the player, aka Violet, is currently repelled in from that window. And if he gets picked out with the diffuser, then things might not look too good from their hands.
That it might not. Diffuser has to be protected, and that means Violet has to be protected at all costs here. And they've got to be careful on how they decide to play the rest of the round. Nearly 65 seconds remain, and no bodies have fallen on either side. We're looking at a bloodbath going into the side, folks. It is, after all, second floor office. Once again, here we go, the first kill, and that's going to be the yellow from down below. Cobra goes down as well. The bloodbath has begun, as I mentioned. The kill going to the mute in this meanwhile. Ragnarok, more than happy to pick that one up, putting Crouch Potatoes now at a big disadvantage. Melusi spotted running, throws an impact at the door, interestingly enough. I think that was meant to go all the way out and do a bit of damage to the attacker there, but it doesn't matter. Another one goes up. That actually downs Vinci, leaving, or was about to leave Violet as the last one standing. But a quick little jaunt outside by the mute will leave the ace on the floor, and that's going to put Uwu up 2-1.
2-1. This could have been 3-0 if they did succeed round number 2 with Cobra not being able to clutch that 1v2. But nonetheless, it is what it is. And Uwu winning this round here, 2-1, will put them in a very good spot. Pretty sure that the flawless round would at least boost their morale a bit. But for Crouch Potatoes, I kind of feel like they're a bit out of touch. Not exactly sure what happened in that process, because on the attack, they did take a lot of time on opening up, the walls itself. And when they did, they tried to get some information from the attack drones. Turns out it was a bit too much for Team Crouch Potatoes to not get the information, mainly because it was being denied from the defensive sides. They tried to make an attempt for grenades to flush out one of the players, but it didn't work out too well in their hands. And when we reached to the end phase, we exactly got to see the end results of that. Team Ufu ending up on a flawless round win. So on the attack, Crouch Potatoes, they are not looking good on their first half. They did win their 1v2 clutch, but that was pretty much it. Crouch Potatoes are yet to make a response, and the way how Team Uvu has been playing on defense, catching players off guard one by one, taking out Sledge first from Dresh, who in fact was unaware of his surrounding. Mojo had no idea, and maybe not having enough information from attackers are the main reason why Team Uvu are getting the better hands off of it.
Right now, well, they've got a very good hold on this game, just as you said. These few rounds that we've seen from them have been really, really good, and Crash Potatoes have really had to play, I wouldn't say out of their minds, but they've had to play exceptionally well just to be able to break even sometimes. We saw in the last round how, when Uwu just runs away with the momentum, how hard it is to stop them. And the Crash Potatoes also learned that in full swing. Here we go, Ragnarok going to start things off by finding Mojo. That is, of course, the Sledge gone. Try to pick up the C4, probably an accidental toss, or one that didn't go too far. Far enough, that is. Will be shot out, though. Violet wants to run out, wants to rappel up to the balcony, but again, just very afraid of the mute, understandably so. But Kato deciding to peek that. That's your Maestro as well. Interesting decision for the Maestro to be playing that aggressively, given the usefulness of the Evil Eyes, especially with the active Maestro. But a bit of lack of droning down below. We'll see DZ get shut down. DZ shutting down Cobra, excuse me, right there. Which leaves Crouch Potatoes once again at the player count disadvantage.
Still have the ace with the breach charges and also angles from Ragnarok, who will in fact miss so many shots. Vinci somehow stays alive, but Ragnarok wants to contest this. And not quite sure that going aggro like that would be a good idea, but the C4 from DZ will claim one.
Attackers have located a bomb.
3v2, Vinci and Dark Lord still alive, which means that Crouch Potatoes can bring this back, but DZ just ends up saying, nope, not gonna happen. 1v3, it's Dark Lord. No grenades to flush out players, and DZ has his eyes set towards Dark Lord, and he'll also get the kill nonetheless. Team Uvu will win round number 4 on defense, but substantially on the lead, 3-1 score line. And in round number 5, you could say that Team Uvu has things under control in this map.
Definitely seems like that is the case here. As Team Uwu, well, they're looking strong. Very, very strong. 3-1, a very clear-cut lead that keeps growing and will continue to grow so long as Team Uwu is allowed to win rounds. And, well, so far they haven't really had much trouble in doing that, primarily because, well, Crouch Potatoes haven't exactly put up the best piece de resistance so far. Now, on the other side, that is, when it comes to defense, Crouch Potatoes might have something to say about this because Skyscraper, as we all know, is a defender-sided map. I know. Surprising. It's not as if it's the most common trend for esports map in Rainbow Six Siege, but here we are. Jokes notwithstanding, Crouch Potatoes on the second half could actually make something out of this game, but right now they have to equalize it 3-3. And for that, well, they're going to have to fight out of their minds once again. They have to keep up that extremely good flow that they were having against Uwu in the first 2 maps, and even in the first couple of rounds here, which came rather close. Unfortunately, rounds 3 and 4 haven't been the same, and Team Uwu seemed to be, at least in the last 2 rounds, seemed to be recognizing that.
Kato making a reinforcement in the action phase itself. It's a bit much more worried that the attackers might, push in towards the window side. But all in all, you could see that Crouch Potatoes are having some problems on their attack push, especially with DZ, who's been making an ample amount of damage for the past 4 rounds. 4 kills and 7 kills to Ragnarok. How can they deny this? DZ, we're taking a bit of damage. Not quite sure exactly where though, but Fast Potatoes, they're just taking their sweet time. Especially Vinci, you just brought in the IQ. At least this will help them find one of the operators that they wanted and ensure none of those traps from Thorn's Razor Bloom might get caught off. They have a good information from Mojo's Jackal scans. Good shot from
Or
Ragnar's
not, I
P5
guess.
SMG. There goes one, the other from Cobra. Equalize it to a 4v4, and yet somehow Ragnarok gets caught off like that. Alright.
Okay, then. We've got, in the meanwhile, some more shots being fired. Cobra, they really want this player gone, as DZ's going to come for a risky revive and going to get it off as well, primarily because Cobra seems to have disengaged. You have the Wamai discs being thrown out to protect Drum as well, for what little it's worth. More shots are fired towards Violet. Somehow they've held on to this site. And not just that, Dagger's going to find Violet in the meanwhile. That's her ace gone. Cobra's been down. Dark Lord goes off the board. It's really just all down to Vinci now, as the last one standing, or no longer. The kill is taken, and, well, that's another round going to Uwu. Beautifully played. Just playing around the fact that there's an Amaru, a Jackal, an IQ, that they are so intel heavy. All right, you've got the intel. Now, what are you going to do if we bring the intel to you? The intel being ourselves. What are you going to do when we really climb up to your face? And, well, there was no answer once again from the Crouch Potato side. 4-1. Big lead from Team Uwu in the first half. They're going to be going back to Exhibition and Office, the only site that they've lost
Attackers
so
need to
far.
locate and defuse as many bombs as they can.
The only site where Cobra did ended up clutching that 1v2, so Cross Potatoes, man, although they've made an impressive comeback on second map border, ending things off on an 8-7 score line. For a moment there, I thought Uwu might have a lot of difficulties on Skyscraper, because back when they went up against Team Water Boys on a 2-0 score line, Skyscraper went up 7-4. 4 rounds being that, while the first half ended up on a 5-1 with favor of Team Water Boys, and 2 to 3 rounds Team Uwu had won most of the defensive holds, but it was Team Water Boys who had won it. So I thought, Uwu decider map on Skyscraper would not favor too much, but turns out Caster's Curse is still in effect. No matter how many times we try to say that X becomes that, X, or one thing becomes the other, it always ends up being the opposite.
I mean, if Aggressive were here, I'm pretty sure he'd be pointing visibly towards me, pointing his fingers in my direction. You heard yesterday, right? I literally got called a walking Caster's Curse on stream. I don't regret it though. I'll continue making these predictions no matter how many times I might be proven wrong, because at the end of the day, I just kind of like it. And when I get something right, my goodness, somehow, I don't know why, I just really feel nice when I get something right. Okay, so that's
it just gives you the satisfaction.
it really does. It really does. It's like the game Snakes and Ladders, right? When you roll a 6 in that game and that pulls you into a ladder that takes you like straight to the finish line. That kind of satisfaction is what I get. I don't know how many of our viewers in chat have played Snakes and Ladders, but if you have, let us know in the chat in the comments. DC might be finding one, not quite. Shots fired, just about walks away with their life right now. Takes out a drone while they're at it, nice and quickly. No real hassle onto that one either. Drish looking for a bit of a smoke grenade toss right now. Gotta be careful, as Tacker's playing a very interesting position here. Goes down as well. I was going to say, that's not exactly the best position to play. Vinci finds another, and looks like, once again, Exhibition Office might not be the best site for Team Uwu.
Not at all, especially when you have Dagger all the way from that open window.
A bomb has been located.
Cross Potatoes, on the other hand, they are yet to lose a player. Holograms will give away Kato's position. Now you see Cross Potatoes taking... just being patient enough. Oh, Jesus. Alright, a team kill from Violet. And Vinci is still here to give things back for the team. And Kato, my goodness, misses out so much, but he still gets the kill. But he has no idea on where Violet is. 1v1, And it's DZ who needs to clutch it out. But on the bright side, he has the diffuser. He could play this accordingly. But does he know that the diffuser has been dropped? Not quite sure. I think he does not.
Well, Val is going to have to go get that diffuser, and that's where the problem is. DZ has repositioned far, far away, but still has a line of sight because of this, line of sight. And there you go. That's going to be the clutch done for the Valkyrie. Denying the clutch to the ace and denying another round on office to the side of the attack here. Uwu are very much storming to the front right now. 5-1 in the first half. We're in the second half now, which means Uwu is going to be attacking. Crouch Potatoes are going to be defending. And we've got ourselves a very interesting situation in the sense that the Crouch Potatoes, they are very much standing with their backs against the wall now.
You know, Jack, I'm not gonna lie. I'm having a feeling of deja vu right now.
Oh boy.
Why?
Because we've been in this place
Locate and
before.
defuse as many
Exactly.
bombs as they can.
Map number 1, Oregon. It is also the same situation. 5-1. 5 defensive round wins to Team Uvu. It's the same thing that I've been here before. Now, Crouch Potatoes, they're the one on defense, and I'm pretty sure that this could go sideways. I don't know why, because I'm getting this feeling that it can happen. You've seen a
you know.
lot of defensive wins, Jack. I have seen a lot of defensive wins for the past 3 maps, and I'm pretty sure that no matter what happens, it is always defender favored, no matter what the map is between these two teams.
I mean, I guess that is kind of true, all things considered, right? Especially considering the maps that we have been through. And you and Aggressive, of course, have been casting them, and here I am taking Aggie's place for now.
Camera feed up and
As
running.
we have the... That's an interesting Valkyrie camera, to say the least. Probably one of the more obvious places it could be, but the brightness of that light that the camera is placed under might obfuscate it just a little bit, maybe just hide it enough.
It's the apple of Eden, Jack.
Ah, yes, the apple of Eden. Metaphor for all things sacred and unknowingly evil at the same time. But
You
who
know-
knows?
There's
go on.
even an Easter egg of Assassin's Creed logo in that same spot. So
Oh,
maybe
we're
he's just
talking
trying
about
to give it a
Assassin's
hint.
Creed's apple of Eden.
Yes, I was talking about Assassin's Creed, Jack. What did you expect?
I mean, what do you think I was going on about?
Uh,
Anyhow. Even production right now is going on about how there's no other apple of Eden. I mean, I guess that's kind of true. Whatever. We'll debate about this later on once the match is done. But in the meanwhile, Dagger's gone down. That's not the best start for the attack of Team Uwu, that is. They've lost their Ash. As Kato will find the location of the Valkyrie, give that away. Shots fired, but that is DZ going down to Dark Lord. Cobra's taking damage in the meanwhile, but looks like Skyscraper will be living up to his defender side and name for this round because we've got 2 bodies already on the floor from Team Uwu.
yeah, that's 2 players down. And Crouch Potatoes, they'll just patiently wait on the side itself and let the attackers do their work. EMPs and also the usage of Ace's Summer Breach charges to open up certain lines of sight. But they're pressured a lot towards the drum room, and Ragnarok might be able to find this one kill. No, he does not. Cobra survives somehow. And now, they're losing a lot of time. A minute left for Team Uwu to make their presence shown on the site. They are still yet to make progress. And that progress can happen from Dresh, because he's right from the Geisha room. He might be able to get this shot. Yes, he does. There goes one, the second from Violet. Yeah, even I'm also surprised. The mute was like brief amount of seconds on exactly what was happening, but in the end, it's Crouch Potatoes who gets the upper hand. 1v3, Ragnarok. My goodness, almost had an opportunity for a headshot, but he misses that. Dark Lord also misses the headshot too. I'm not quite sure what exactly is happening from this 1v3 clutch, but still likely a possibility that it can happen. He has good info, but he just somehow cannot convert those information into kills. He finds one, but not the second, because Dark Lord has got things covered. Crouch Potatoes will decide to bring things up. Round number 7 it will be theirs. And with it, the circle of defensive round continues.
Oh boy, is this that also familiar engines starting up again. For the sake of Team Uwu, I don't think they would want that to be the case, but Crouch Potatoes, again, they clearly have a lot to say here. And Skyscraper being the ever so defender familiar map that it is, well, we might be looking at a potentially very interesting situation on our hands here, folks. Now, 5-2, it's by no means Crouch Potatoes' game yet. That is, a given right now, given the situation of the rounds. But again, all of that can change very, very quickly. And of course, Team Uwu knows this. They just need to win 2 rounds. And it's not a lot. They just have to win 2 rounds. They got to just get these 2 rounds and kind of just get done with it. But that's the thing. Are they even going to be able to pull that off? Because we know, and we've known from our many years of casting when it comes to Rainbow Six, that 5-2s and 5-1s, well, if a team wants it badly enough, those numbers won't mean anything.
Locate a bomb and defuse it.
Interesting, okay. I thought the entire wall was going to be broken open for a second there, but no, it doesn't seem like that's the case. Anyhow, going back to the round. It's 5-2 now, round 8. Crouch Potatoes have 3 rounds to try and equalize.
For Uwu, all it needs is just 2 rounds win on attack. And I'm pretty sure that this will be a difficult task for Team Cross Predator. Wait a minute, did I just see 4 attackers on Geisha wall? Yeah, I did. One of which is DZ's already from below. This location might be compromised, especially when he tries to, open up that window side. Information, not quite sure that DZ has got it covered. He should be careful about the flank. No, he doesn't have to because Dark Lord is currently busy on the first floor window side, hoping to catch off players who just currently planting, spawned from the tower side. Wouldn't be. And the attackers will just, calmly focus on their work. Information from the attack drones will be given from Dresh, which means that DZ can be able to get the kick. All right.
Front row seats to that.
For a moment there, I thought it was a shock drone that hit out Mojo, but in the end, it will be DZ who gets the first headshot. And there goes Mojo, unfortunately.
Well, big first drop right there. That is their Valkyrie gone. I say big, mostly in terms of just passive utility and the C4 from below, which is now off the board. But there's 2 other C4s in Vinci and Violet's hands. Cobra, in the meanwhile, will be taken clean off as the Jaeger and now the Alibi are off the board. Just these picks are coming off from somewhere, and the Nook certainly has made sure that there will be blood, as it were. But where is DZ going to be entering from? Violet and Vinci are still alive, and Vinci has done quite a bit of good work in this map so far. Shots are fired, a body should go down, but it does not. Ragnarok takes damage, Vinci is still firing away at that wall, and Violet's actually going to start things up by finding Dagger, goes down as well to Kato. It's now all down to Vinci, the last one standing, sees one but can't get the shot. It is the pistol of Drish to get the final kill. The Ash sprinting in, Mach 7 with the pistol out. And that is going to allow for Team Uwu to hit series point, 1 round away from finishing it off here and now.
1 round away for Team Uwu to succeed on a 6-2 scoreline, and I think I'll be taking your title back, Jack. Especially with the prediction stuff. I said that this would be heavily defender favored, but turns out it did not. Yeah.
See,
I'm listening.
To be qualified to hold the title of Walking Caster's Curse Flag, you have to get 19 predictions wrong in a row, and then somehow barely get your 20th one right. That's the qualifications. I don't make the rules, okay? That was passed on to me. And now, if you want to take that title from me, that's what it's got to be. So, I was letting you know.
Challenge accepted.
Oh, no.
Well, right now I could say
What
when
have
it
I
comes to
done?
prediction-wise, I just lost like around 7 to 8 predictions in this Community Cup, Jack. So you could say I'm almost, climbing up the ranks. I can talk about this prediction. Saying
Watch
that it was
him
heavily
get
defender
tomorrow's
favored.
BO5 prediction correct.
Nah. I am definitely getting the BO5 prediction wrong. That is for sure.
I mean,
And
at
I'm
the
pretty
end of
sure
the
that I'm
day-
getting the title back, It's a challenge that I'm going to take here, Jack. No matter what the cost is.
At the end of the day, it's a coin flip, right? So might as well do a coin toss before we start things off tomorrow. I don't know. I'll try to have it cleared by production if we can do a coin toss live on stream or something. But anyhow, 6-2 right now to Team Uwu. They're looking for the win. Crash Potatoes looking for the equalizer. But that's 4 rounds of pretty much perfect siege that they have to play because they do not have another chance. This is it, now or never. They've gone back to that same site, second floor office, deciding not to go to first floor barbecue and kitchen. Interesting decision making here from them, following pretty much in the same footsteps as Team Uwu, who lost their first round on office as well. So the Crash Potatoes, they'll look to repeat that pattern and potentially get themselves a 5-1 in this half, putting us to 6-6 overtime.
They have to win 4 defensive rounds back to back. And they're back in the same site, right? Second floor exhibition room / office. So last time I remember in the previous round, Uwu had things under control when it comes to removing players one by one, and that was right from the drum room. And now you could say that Dark Lord almost got himself picked out, so he'll just fall back safely to the site itself. And the way how Uwu has been approaching this from the attack, it's a bit different from Crouch Potatoes. What Crouch Potatoes did was just they'd opened up the main walls of the second floor exhibition room site, where they could, open up lines of sight and have an angle ways to figure out a way to get a kill or two. But Uwu, on the other hand, they want to apply pressure towards drum room. So you could say that things are working out when it comes to handing out roamers, and Dark Lord currently being on the safer end. Mojo starts it off with the first frag, and it's Dagger who gets picked out. So DZ, you gotta be prepped and ready. Ragnarok with a good nade to take out Violet. Let's not forget that this is match point for Team Uwu, so they've got to be careful. Crouch Potatoes, they've been in this situation before, and they have high likely the chances of bringing this back up. So whatever mistakes that Uwu has made, Crouch Potatoes can use that mistake and put themselves on a very good advantage. But only with 40 seconds left, the defenders are not overpicking themselves. They're playing it safe. And that safe might help them win this round 2 here, Jack.
35 remain. Shots are fired, and it's the first one Mojo to go down in this round, in this situation. There's another and another. It's all down to Cobra. The last one standing. Breach is going off behind him on a different wall. He's got to play this perfectly right now, but he cannot. Loses to the Ash. And that's it. Your second grand finalists have been decided. The team to take on the Water Boys in a revenge match for the Community Cup Aegis. It is going to be Team Uwu. After fated match, that is, of course, against the side of Water Boys. Beaten in the upper bracket grand finals. They will be moving back, to fighting the Water Boys once again. It's going to be one hell of a game, that is for sure. And the Water Boys, well, they know what's coming towards them, but it's a longer game format. It's a BO5. So both teams will have to be playing a very different kind of siege and a much more conservative kind if they want that match to go their way. It's a long game, and you have to win 3 maps. Both teams do. So it's going to be very difficult as well. We'll talk about that a little bit more before we end off, but before we do, we've got a few other things to talk about. Of course, brackets and highlights and the usual stuff that we have here at the Community Cup. Some flashy, fancy graphics on your screen that'll come up soon. But before we do, Baba Gusta, any final comments as the Crouch Potatoes end their tournament run?
Ending thoughts? In the end, it's just both of the teams that are just having fun, right? They're just having fun, both of them. Map number 1, yeah, sure, they made a lot of mistakes. It kind of felt like there were some certain situations where they could have got, the best of it. But in the end, they're just having fun, folks. Both of them, Crouch Potatoes and Team Uwu. And knowing that they are having fun in this Community Cup, when it comes to, being serious, knowing that there is a lot of credits on the line, you've got to know that there are some certain moments here that you've got to be careful about it. So in the end, Crouch Potatoes did made their fair share of efforts of defending their ground in both of the matchups, especially on second map where they did go all the way to overtime 8-6, 8-6 on both Oregon as well as on Border. Map number 1, Uwu did win it out. Map number 2, Crouch Potatoes. You could say both of them made their fair share of mistakes, but in the end, they're just having fun.
I mean, it's a community cup, right? A little bit of fun, of course, is going to happen. And it's always a good time to see players just come out here and give it what they've got in terms of their fun meters, as it were. And some of the matches, all things considered, have pretty much been fun dripping out of our eyeballs sometimes. There have been some interesting and hilarious maps. There have been some really good siege played as well overall from some of the teams. But of course, we'll be seeing the peak of all of that tomorrow in the best of 5 grand final. So, folks, mark your, I guess, set your timers. There's not really mark your calendars, but if you do want to mark your calendars, Pro Series Season 3, for that announcements, whenever that goes out, we still don't really know yet, but whenever that goes out, well, make sure that after that you have your days set for Pro Series Season 3. It's going to be an explosive third season and the final one before the Nationals. So there is a lot going on in terms of Siege over the next couple of months now as we wrap up the Community Cup with one final game remaining, the Grand Finals best of 5 between Team Uwu and Waterboys.
Yep. Out of all the 8 teams that we've had this entire week, we are just down with 2. Team Uwu and Team Waterboys. The winner will receive a total of 6,000 credits per player in this Community Cup. And I'm pretty sure both of the teams will have a good fight. Both of them. Especially in the Grand Final, since it is a best of 5, it will be all 5 maps. And I'm pretty sure that competition will be tough to determine who will be the champions for this Community Cup Season 3. Match summary itself, it is 7-2 nonetheless in favor for Team Uwu. And we will see Team Crouch Potatoes have claimed third place in this season. Third place, which means they'll receive 1,800 in-game credits, whereas from Team Uwu, they've already claimed second and first spot. We just have to determine who will claim first spot itself. It's just a matter of time, folks. 15 kills from Ragnar, 6 kills for Cobra, Vinci. First initial fragouts being from Vinci's end, and also from Ragnar, who also got 2 initial fragouts too. Cost percentage 89, and DZ will claim 78% cost damage. All in all, that would be the end of the final slower brackets. And we have our grand finals, folks. We have Team Uwu and Team Waterboys. Out of all the matches that we've seen in the qualifiers, most of it did ended up on a 2-0 scoreline. In the upper brackets, all of them did end up 2-0, except the lower brackets matchup. One was Copium versus Crouch Potatoes. We had Kira Esports versus Noah Kyla Warriors. That went out on a 2-1 scoreline. And now this final matchup of the lower brackets, where we did get to see deciders between Uwu and Team Crouch Potatoes. 7-2 will be the final map, and with it, we have the end for today's matchup. I gotta say, it's been a long ride. All the way from second qualifiers, which did happen on 21st, and now it's 30th of August. I hope it's 30th of August, right? I think
It is,
yes.
yes.
Yeah, it is
It
30th of
is.
August. Again, don't mind me. I have like slight cases of amnesia at that point. I'm just joking, folks. Don't worry about it. There you go. The match results itself 8-6 on map number 1 and 2 on Oregon and Border. And then we have our final map 7-2 on Skyscraper. And there you have it. That's the end of the lower bracket finals. And grand finals tomorrow will be a good finale to end things off for the season 3 for the Community Cup. But just like Jack said, we still have our third season for the Pro League Series. Hunters have claimed 20 points, and I cannot wait for that to happen. I cannot wait for that storyline to come up.
Oh, yeah. Revisiting that one is going to be very interesting. Hunters basically have a target on their back right now, and people had better hope that they have been giving it their absolute all, because they're going to be needing it, folks. That is for certain. We'll get back to that storyline once we're done with tomorrow's grand final. Speaking of which, the brackets that are going up on your screens right now. It's been a long journey for both of these teams. Waterboys winning their first game against Noah Kyla, then against Crouch Potatoes, putting them into the lower brackets. They move on to fight Team Uwu, who had started in the upper brackets as well, winning all the way up to the match against Waterboys, where they lost 2-0 at that. So Waterboys definitely took a lot over them. And Team Uwu will definitely like to pay it back in kind, having won against the Crouch Potatoes, who their dream lower bracket run has been denied. So, Team Uwu, Water Boys, fans of both, of course, we'll be seeing you back here tomorrow here at the Esports Club Community Cup Season 3 for Rainbow Six Siege, supported by Ubisoft, powered by Zotac Gaming, and our broadcast partner, Loco. Reminder, the links are all down in the description below. Make sure to get Rainbow Six Siege if you're enjoying the esports action that you're seeing here at the Esports Club, of course, and make sure that you get yourself some fantastic computer parts, some good old GPUs, as it were, from Zotac Gaming. They've been pretty good to us, and we're pretty sure they'll be pretty good to you as well. And if you want some fantastic content from not just the Esports Club, but other amazing content creators and streamers, head over to our broadcast partner, Loco. Again, links are down in the description below. But with all that being said, there's only one match remaining, one best of 5, one grand finals, and 2 teams that separate us from a winner and the finale of this, and the finishing, I should say, of this Community Cup. It's been a fantastic season, and it's been a very, very good pleasure casting alongside Babagusta and Aggressive. But that's going to do it for us here at the Esports Club tonight. For myself, Blackjack, and of course Babagusta and Aggressive, who unfortunately had to step back, but he did a very fine job casting the first 2 maps as well. So all credit to him. And with that, we're done here. We'll be seeing you back here tomorrow. Stay tuned, and good night.